Go run and check the street.
Yeah, that UBI thing. Let's bring that.
So it's where it's all going, man.
Yep, yep. Well, yeah, and then that pussy old. Anyway, is it running?
Oh yeah, should be running. Yep, we're good.
Right, said Carl,
Oh
hello.
yeah, how come I ship you outside and ship a couple of dash?
Noble honesty, apostles and elders of great millstone. But honesty was out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. You know, and we're gonna kick it off today with the MOTB. We're definitely in that time. You see the MOTB system being built. Well, it's been built. The infrastructure for the MOTB system has been built. We've discussed that many times before. And then the crises, that's going to come as the excuse to bring in the MOTB is being built up and as we speak. You know, so we're definitely in that time.
And it's exactly as you reported it, as you breaking it on it. No, until you had this kind of goals before we get to the bits of the MOTB. Right?
Yeah, and it's becoming more clearer every day too.
This is the Guardian.com news, and it talks about the universal basic income could be used to soften hit from AI job losses in UK, Minister says.
So how convenient, right? Because the AI is taking everybody's jobs, right? Even though they know that's what they do.
So look at the definition of universal basic income.
No, there's all this, this technological revolution that we're going through. This AI is so great, it's going to change the world. All it's doing is putting people out of work. Right? That's how it's planned.
And then another thing is you gotta put that caveat in there that some of these job losses ain't even nothing to do with AI. They're just blaming it. We was discussing the other day. Right now these companies are just firing people that they don't need, and then they blame it on AI. And then they might rehire some in India or something.
Yeah.
But a lot of the job losses really stem back to automation.
Yes.
But automation, notice they never like mentioned it. How really a lot of people that are out of work now, really out of work because automation took away a lot of the productive jobs, and now all you have is service jobs, which you don't need as much service jobs when people are buying a lot of what they buy online. You know, Amazon Prime and things like that. People don't need to go out to the high streets and things of that nature. And a lot of services, they don't need a person to do it per se. That's here. They can just outsource.
And people don't realize if you push for like convenience, people lose jobs.
Yeah. Oh, being able to do things yourself.
Yeah.
Like being able to, the apps loses jobs. Because when you can use the app to adjust your direct debit or do this, do that, you no longer need to phone someone. You don't need to go into a store. That also reduces service jobs. Because a lot of the services, they just say, oh, do it yourself. Go to I'm saying McDonald's, but you go to any food place now, they all got the kiosk thing.
Even these black cabs, like back in the day, like black cabs, taxi drivers, back take a test. Back roads,
the knowledge
for their mind, it was actually a skill. But now you have to have, say, bro, man could have been driving the Pakistan. You can set his map to the phone. Yeah, and that's it. Driving with his slippers and all that. So that's it. Other definition of UBI, bro. That's why they fucking Elon always crashing their cars. That's how they drive, right?
they do say not to drive with slippers
on
high hills,
and they do. They probably drive
on high hills.
Even when you go to these fast food places, right? What you notice then is a lot of them are very understaffed.
Yeah.
So if they get a rush of people coming into the store, they're cooked. Yeah. Because now they're really designed to service the kiosk and Deliveroo.
Yep.
That's really what they're designed to service. So if there's a situation where there's men coming in and want to order at the kiosk and get all of a sudden they're stressed.
They turn away people to use the kiosk. They'll tell you to go use the kiosk. Wait,
because really there would normally have been 2, 3, 4 extra staff to deal with people having to come into the store.
And then they do drive-throughs and
and sometimes it gets to a point in the restaurant at a certain time they'll stop serving food, but they still got food for apps. People are like, bro, no.
We're shaking up the chips.
This is universal basic income. It's a social welfare model where every citizen receives periodic unconditional cash payment from the state, regardless of the income, employment status, or household.
Right. So that's how they're selling it to you. Like, oh yes, to help you, and it does no. Really, what the universal basic income is going to be your allocation of resources by the state, because no longer you're going to be in a system based upon labor. All right, you're going to be on a system based upon pure resource control. They're going to control you as a resource, and if they need you to work and do something, you just do that, whatever you're allocated to do. All right, and that's a system that they want to bring in. So they're breaking down the labor system, and they already did that in America. And that's why when you got to pay attention to these devils. Here it is, you got Trump saying he's going to bring the manufacturing back to America, and then you had all them disaffected Edomites that have been affected by the manufacturing being outsourced to Mexico, being outsourced to Japan, being outsourced to South Korea. It got in America. There was because people don't realize that's why you got to learn history. That's why what Scripture said, the prudent man foreseeth the evil. When you understand history, going back to World War II, America became a major powerhouse in production, not consumer. They didn't live in a consumer era. They lived in a production era because Europe was destroyed. Most of the world was destroyed through World War II, the Second World. So America just had loads of factories that were, some of them were being used for the war, of course. After the war, you can now use these factories and these workers. The whole boomer generation, well, if you weren't a Jake, if you was an Edomite, you just walk out your house and you got a job. That's it. And it was known as a job for life. So imagine that. You just walk out your house, throw a stone, and you will hit somewhere that will give you a job for life. Not only are you going to get a job for life, they had these unlimited pensions that came with the job.
They gave all these incentives to come and work.
That was the American dream. The boomers, I've done videos on it. The boomers really the only generation that actually received the American dream. True. They were able to buy a house. They were able to buy their car.
Like, see, I don't know, 60s or whatever, and the fact that these were factories. They got all the perks, bro. All the great pensions, yeah, like where they was making, like, bringing in the whole families into the company and basically becoming a family of service for a certain company.
Yep. And they were getting paid. Now, over the process of time, the generation after, it flipped. So now America turned into kind of like a consumer economy, more so. It's consumer and service economy. And all these factories that get shut down, sent to Mexico, sent to Japan, sent to China, where these products can be made cheaper and then brought back into America, where the man them can buy it with credit. That was the system. Now, Trump knows there's a lot of disaffected people, so he's like, I'm going to bring that back. But what he's not telling you is that that specific situation doesn't exist anymore. For them to bring the manufacturing back to America, it's not going to make the products any cheaper, which is what you're struggling with. So it's not only is it not going to make the products any cheaper, not only is the rest of the world not going to all of a sudden start buying American products because they're too expensive, you have to still compete with China, you still have to compete with South Korea and places like that. On top of all of that, the type of production that's going to come back isn't labor intensive. It's not like back in the day in Motown where you had 10,000 people and each man was, okay, you put the wheel on. So just one guy, he put the wheel on, then you had another guy with the wrench. And you on the production line, you got 50,000 men and they're all getting paid to make the car. Now it's just, there's like two men in the, not two, compared to the amount of men that was needed to run a factory, it's the fraction of the men. They're not lower label people, so they're high skilled people. So you ain't gonna get the Joe, the normal baconite that ain't got two brain cells to run together. He can't work in there. You need actual tech savvy guys in there, and the robots is doing everything. So when you build that factory in America, the only thing that's gonna produce is labor to build it, meaning the buildings. Once it's built, it's built.
Isaiah 19:14. Yahweh hath mingled the perverse spirit in the midst thereof. They have caused Egypt to earn every work. So Isaiah 19 and it says, no work that Egypt.
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
I got
So you got
That was information. So I actually put in the downside of UBI for freedom. It says number one, it says the dependence on the state. When income is guaranteed by the government, personal independence is weakened. If UBI is reduced, frozen, or drawn, people become vulnerable to political decision.
Exactly, and that's really what they want. So
It says that freedom shifts from self-earned to state granted.
there you go. And that's really what they want. They want everyone to basically be dependent on the state, rich and poor, free and bond. They want everyone, and that's why they're destroying. They're gonna collapse a society where even people that think they've got money in the bank, the banks are gonna crash and take all of that. The pensions are gonna go. Everything that a lot of people lean on to say this is what I'm living off. They have a plan to destroy it. They're gonna destroy this financial system, and then in that crisis, people are going to be crying out for a way because guess what? What are you going to need? You're still going to need food. You're still going to need water. All these things are not able to be produced by the individual anymore. You can't subsistence farm. So in order for you to get that food, you're going to rely on the system. So that's why the system's going to be like, okay, well, the government will come in along with the big corporation. Well, we already have this infrastructure. We'll just control the infrastructure. And here, you can have a bread. You can have a bread. Hey, on your chip, it allows you to go into the store and buy this one piece of bread, but only one. You won't be able to buy another one.
And that's why the digital money system, the CBDC, is so important, and the digital ID is so important. And it's all being built together to accommodate, be able to have control.
To be fair, reading this, it's basically the beast system.
Yeah.
So Isaiah 19 and 15, it's like the next verse. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do.
They're going to have more unemployment, right? People are they got less credit availability. There's going to be spending less, right? More businesses are going to shut down. Now the big corporations, they'll still be doing good because they're actually cornering a big market. So Amazon ain't gonna ever have a problem because the little stores are closing down, but everyone's still that is buying is still going to Amazon, and they got loads of money. So
Because they're at the head of the whole automation thing,
they're at the head of it,
you know.
But you're gonna see more and more small businesses closing down, mid-level businesses either closing down or being bought by Amazon or being bought by one of the big conglomerates. So things become more more concentrated to the big mega corporations, which is what they want. And they show you that in these movies. Like Tekken, I'm sure in Tekken there's like 5 corporations in the whole fucking planet. That pretty much, yeah. But there's a lot of films that show you that because really that's what it's gonna be. There's gonna be big state, big corporation running everything. It's not gonna be you having your own business and all that stuff. All that's gonna be done away.
Ecclesiastes 12, stuff in verse 3, and it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out.
Bro, this season, even like you said, from that time, people don't realize the time. Like even like, bro, some days fucking out these middle, and it'll be like one staff at the front, bare tills, and all the tills are closed, and then you got the little self-checkouts. You got loads of people. It's not even practical here.
You might have 2 on a conveyor belt, possibly.
Possibly.
And you might have one assistant at the checkout,
Yeah.
self-checkout. Because stuck in the shelf somewhere. You know?
I'm not saying actually. I mean, like, you know, Jake, man, you have to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, do you remember before you could just leave the store? Now you got to scan your receipts.
Yeah.
Proper prison stuff.
Yeah, man. Amazon Go.
Yeah, they got facial recognition in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting prepared for that police state. Because even you're right, crime is getting harder to commit.
Yeah.
Why do you think the crime rate's dropped in London?
Yeah.
Man ain't smoking man that they used to.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
youths running around London think it's bad now. Bro, when there weren't no CCTV like that in London, but it was long for man. These men were popping off and shanking man like it's nothing. Now they just chat shit online because they know that, yeah, as soon as you step out your yard, you got hit by about 10 ring doorbells. Yeah, it's long for man. They'll track your ass, man. They'll track your phone, everything. They got you on that case.
Yeah, and then online now as well, they're making it more so that you are more easy to get tracked.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, but with like, for work, I have VPNs and stuff like that. It's like with VPNs, it's now even easier to track you because your VPN. Yeah, it says you are you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Before if you had the IP, I could give the example. Like if we're in the same mobile network, our IP address is all going to be the same. But if we have VPNs on our phones, then they're going to know, well, that's you, isn't it?
It's sort of like if everyone opts it into the system, you opt out. Well, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you got to sign into all these.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. And the thing is, we're in a situation now where it's like there's multiple ways to confirm you was there.
Yeah.
It's not just one. They
Yeah.
can run voice recognition. They can run
Bouncing off
everything.
people's phones,
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
So if you escape one thing,
Yeah.
they'll catch you on another. Oh, you hid your face, but we've got you there wearing that, and we traced you walking all the way back to your house. And then inside your house, man, you logged onto the computer at this time. You put your password in, so it was you. But
Because that's how my iPhone from Android, whatever. That's how it works even when the device is off. Because really, what's happening is because there's so many people with Androids and iPhones. What they've actually created is what's referred to as a mesh network. So it's like say my phone is off and I walk past you. Your phone's detected my phone, and then it's all linked in the system together.
Eagle Eye.
Basically,
So they can use multiple different streams of data to identify you and clock who you are. It's not just one thing.
I got more on the side.
Yeah.
A bit.
Bit more. And it says, you said the windows that look out the windows be darkened. And more and more people are seeing that there ain't no light at the end of this tunnel. Man. Now, if you're in America and you got Trump syndrome, and he comes out and tells you everything's great and you're winning, then you're getting gaslit, and you might believe that. But that's not true.
And this is why we keep saying this world that this world, the path this world is on isn't for you. It's for the elites. And like I said, that's how I always see in the movies. It's always for the elites, right? It's not about the betterment of humankind, right? It's going to the very few wealthy that on the earth. So that's why the WF, the small business, the models own nothing. But someone owns something. It's just not going to be you.
exactly. You will own nothing.
I'll own it.
Someone's going to own it.
You got Trump going out there selling to these people the virtues of a weaker dollar. So,
And it's going down.
So you mean the money in my pocket is now worth less? That's better for me. Oh yeah, because you can export. Export what? What are you exporting it to? What are you really exporting to the rest of the world that they can't get for cheaper from China or South Korea?
But at the same time, my guy's talking about increasing the house prices or whatever on the weaker dollar.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's that really work?
So that's going
It's
to
not really
more
worth
create a
as much as you
crisis
think it is.
because it's the boomers again. The boomers own all the houses. So it's in the boomers' interest for house prices to be going up, but then the generations below can't get into the housing market. So now you're desperate. So the whole
Wait.
thing's a
Who
scam.
you going to sell to? You're going to sell to? You're going to sell to?
And that's
That's it.
Like, it's true.
That's everyone can afford it.
What I was saying, there's bare people's planet. Yeah, it's all because otherwise, no hope.
And that's if you can even sell the house for that price that's inflated.
Exactly.
Because it's artificially inflated on top of it.
Exactly. And then the government's
Yes.
like, oh, inheritance.
Yeah. I think that's actually true. I realize that. House only is good as how much houses in your local area are selling. So
how much someone's going to pay for it.
they got the money. I mean, got the money.
That money's being taken away.
They actually have to balance the housing price in the local area. So even if you've done triple extension
Renovation.
your house can only go up a certain amount.
But this is why people just sit on an expensive house though. They can't get rid of
But that's all they can do.
Oh.
Well, it's very similar to stocks in a way. Like you see most of these big CEOs like Elon Musk, right? He's the richest man in the world, right? But it's not like all that stock he has, he can turn it into cash. He would never be able to.
He's not
The minute
allowed to.
if he tried to go, he couldn't. If he put all of the stock he owned on sale, he wouldn't be able to command value that is recorded at. Because as he's selling the stock, the price is gonna plummet. The price is only where it is. It's an artificial valuation based upon a certain amount of selling happening at a time. So he really isn't worth what he's worth.
So in the stock market, they also have the thing where like when the losses are too much, they start
Circuit breaker.
circuit breakers.
Yeah.
Then also it's like, especially if it's someone like that and they're selling a lot of one stock, the entire market goes, what does he know?
Yeah, and then they start selling
And
it.
then
They got in process of the orders.
So
anyway.
guys like that have to borrow money off their assets to get money.
That's why these deals with loans and stuff like that. You know, they don't pay nothing for you cash like that.
And it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, and the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
You know, that's talking about there's a time that's going to come. When it's ain't gonna be nothing. Man ain't gonna be concerned with singing and entertainment. Shit's gonna get serious out there. And that time is coming fast.
So in the background, it's like, yeah, burn back people are doing it to escape hell.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a coming time
We
where
can't escape hell.
no one's gonna care. Oh, but Beyonce's live. No one cares.
This is shit.
Man, I need to eat. And that's a serious thing. Like I said, go when all hell was breaking loose in Gaza, you think man cared about celebrity and music? When bombs are dropping and real shit is happening. I've been in crises. I'm telling you, when real crisis happens, all that entertainment, no one's thinking about that. When you go and everything's fine, that's when man care about entertainment and have you seen the new album or man will be arguing about football, you know what I mean? And mate, like, yeah, it was a good goal. When all hell's breaking, ain't nobody worried about that shit.
Bro, like if there's a food shortage and it's like cannibalism happens, you think people going to be like, oh, let Jay-Z get to the front? Like, hell no.
Look at Doncic. Look at
This nigga back.
Don't cut off his lips and fry it.
And nowhere is given on entertainment like America. America is absolutely. I mean, over here we only got one religion, and that's football. In America, yeah, but in America they got many religions, man. And these men go even they go even deeper. They go no dive deep into entertainment, man. They go crazy for entertainment, man.
Yeah, Super Bowl, baseball,
right?
They got everything there. That's what it is.
But there's gonna come a time in America where all of that stuff is gonna be no one ain't even gonna be, and that's hard to imagine. No one ain't even gonna be the game cancelled, and no one cares. All men are caring about is how am I gonna get some of this UBI? Let me go get this chip so I can feed my family. When your baby's crying in the next room, you ain't worried about that. The daughters of music are brought low. Right now, when you're in an era of safety, all of a sudden the entertainers are important. When shit hits the fan, you don't care about the entertainer. Where FEMA at? You're looking for a savior.
This is Sirach chapter 11 and verse 27. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and his end, his deeds shall be discovered.
Yeah, like, bro, you think when the Twin Towers happened, if 50 Cent had a show that cancelled, no one's worried about it. Like, exactly how it's about to be.
Well, the scripture said there's going to be dead bodies lying in the streets. That's foul, man.
No one's comfort.
So there ain't nothing to sing about. They ain't nothing to dance and jig about in that time. Right? So it's not the time for music. It's not the time for all that. It's time for mourning. Casting ashes upon your head. Anxiety. That's what it's all about. PTSD. That man had the error.
Chapter 3. Top. It reads a time for everything. And it says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose. Time to be born, time to die, time to plant, time to pluck up that which is planted.
That's what's happening right now. Esau's kingdom is plucked up. It's really the end, and they don't know that. They don't seem to understand the reality that this is the end. There is nothing after this point, even for the elites. The average Edomite doesn't really comprehend what's about to happen, that you're about to enter into our world. And our world is a very cold and dark place for you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a mad one, sad one. That's why right now, if you're an Edomite, the best thing you can do is liquidate all your assets here and move to Thailand, bro. Yeah, liquidate all your assets, bro, and go open up a fucking cocktail bar in Thailand and enjoy yourself. You can live good in the new world order because your time is the Bible tells you the triumphing of the wicked is short. You really are at the end of your time. Right now, you're about to go into extreme judgment. I'm talking about dead family members, you know what I mean? Like the loss of possessions, the loss of everything, heartbreak, turmoil, hopelessness, confusion.
Revelation 12:12. So therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, and the sea. The devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth you for a short time.
Your own elites here they are in the process of destroying your system, creating chaos. That's the worst thing about it. They want the dollar to die. They want the pound to die. They want the financial system to collapse. They want riots in the street. They want blood in the street. The Illuminati quote from that guy, was it Spalding or Sparling, where he said the new world order can only come about with the shedding of blood.
That's sacrifice.
Because it's a sacrifice. They want blood. They want war, and they're causing it. They're gonna bring about you see the race wars. They're gonna instigate them race wars. They're gonna have their agent provocateurs. Because remember, what did they say on the Georgia guys quotes? They said 500 million.
Yeah.
That means 6.5 billion of you. They gotta go. How are they gonna achieve that? Yeah. Disruption of the system. They could disrupt this system, and just the chaos alone, bare man have to die.
And you see, it's not a thing for Esau, man. Like I say, he just cuts jobs like nothing, isn't it? He don't care about cutting the population down. Best believe that. You know, you're not like you say, you're not scared to shed blood, man.
Yeah, they could lose a state or two. You think Esau care about a state or two, man? They could lose a city or two. Just let it just turn into Resident Evil. They don't care about all that, man. You think the elites care? They don't live there. They don't care.
They had the idea where they would nuke certain cities if they had to.
Of course he would.
You know what I'm saying? So,
We would damn.
you know, so you know.
But the Lord put that spirit on them so that these things could be fulfilled, man.
Got more on the side effects of UBI.
Yeah.
Point 2 is political control and leverage. A government that controls basic income can shape the behavior indirectly. Conditions can be added later as carbon limits, health rules, or social compliance.
That's right. Carbon limits. What did we tell you from the very beginning? If you control carbon, you control all areas of human activity, including thinking. Everything, because everything you do expend or burns carbon, because it's respiration. It takes energy.
And that's kind of what they were saying with CBDC. It's like, okay, if you buy a certain amount of meat or whatever, you reach your carbon
Yep.
I mean,
Like clothes has a carbon footprint.
everything got
Everything.
side effects.
Activity does. So you want to do a certain amount of activity. Okay, you can't go here. You can't travel this far because when you travel, there's a carbon footprint. So they start having the smart cities with the 15-minute cities, and then they can actually design into your CBDC where and when and how you can spend that money because it's programmable. So you go outside of your remit now, and then you go to buy something.
Yeah.
Then I got enough. I can buy but you can't buy it here. You need to go back to where you're from, and that's with the whole Gaza thing. What they want to build, staying there.
And like in a way, they showed you in that Justin Timberlake. Because in time, it basically, bro, I didn't have time to go there. I can't spend my credits. Otherwise, I might just die. Or be frozen out the system.
Yeah. So this whole thing about everyone even traveling all over the world where you want, that's gonna stop. Or you could just jump on a plane and go here and go there. That time is gonna be over. You ain't going nowhere. You're gonna be there. And if you want to go there, you gotta put a VR. You gotta put a VR thing, and that's how you gonna go there.
Totally.
Go tomorrow.
That's like the conversations that started recently, with the whole protest and ICE. Like, there's a those are Babylonians that are leaving America. So like now the new topic is let's like stop people leaving. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
And that's what it's going to be too. People think it's all about keeping people out. It's also going to be about keeping people in. They're going to be keeping people locked down to certain geographical areas by your chip. So your chip will have a particular CBDC in on it, and it'll only be able to be used in certain places.
But that's jurisdiction.
Well, that's point 3. It says loss of exit of freedom. If taxes rise to fund UBI, it becomes harder to opt out of the system. High earners and entrepreneurs may lose freedom to relocate, take risks, build wealth independently of the state.
And really, they ain't gonna be no taxes. That's why Trump's sending the low key on it. It's gonna be no income. Because ultimately, in the system of the New World Order with the MOTB, you don't need to tax because no one's earning to tax. The system of money is really just the allocation system of giving you rations. And that's why they also say that what can you do with the CBDC? You can put a time limit on money. So it can expire. So you can't save it. Yeah, so if
they don't want you to save anything.
They don't want you to save it, and you can only buy what you can buy. So there's a limit on the amount of bread or the amount of water or the amount of electricity that you can use with it. And then it won't roll over like your mobile phone data plan. You know, fixed. Yeah. So you're cooked. You have to restart every month with the same amount or less, and it could change
because that's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. And it can change every month. So next month they could just decide, well, there's not enough bread for everyone, so you're gonna get half the rations. And what you gonna do about it? Nothing.
So, on what the elder said, that's fair because that's one of the talking points, and Esau's using all of these different talking points as a snare onto the people.
That's what you're seeing. So what you're seeing is Esau coming out and demonizing his own system. You point out, oh yeah, this reserve banking system is no good. Oh, this is oppressive. Oh, so that when they give you this new system, you think, oh yeah, this is the in thing, not knowing this is worse. This is even more demonic.
So it's same with the global warming thing, right? Because you got people that wholeheartedly believe in, and they, some people go as far, I don't want to have children. It's not good for the environment and stuff like that. But then, they want basically exactly. And then, but then Esau's gonna come one day and was like, well, you said we needed to act seriously on the climate emergency, right? So, okay, you can't own a car, you can't go anywhere.
And they gave those plans out. I remember, the British government, they released some years back, their green agenda. And it ends with like no boats, no planes. It's like you're not gonna go nowhere. You think there's some sort of life you're gonna have in the future. No, you're gonna be in the cities, little cities. And that's where you're gonna live.
It's really 1984.
Exactly that. And because they can surveil you, you might feel, well, how are they gonna know? Of course they know, because the surveillance is gonna be inside of you and all around you.
I have 2 points.
Yeah.
It's point 4 is
yeah, but that. Yeah.
It says point 4 is erosion of voluntary mutual aid. Family, community, and informal support systems can weaken. People rely more on the state, less than human relationships, reducing social freedom.
So what you won't be able to do is exchange things between people, because one, the products are going to be tracked, but they can track everything now. So they'll imagine like you bring some bread into your house, the system will be able to know that bread shouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what all these new systems are all about. The smart fridges, and
meaning people can't hoard.
So you can't hoard because they know what you got. They know what you're stockpiling. So you can't stockpile, right? And you can't buy for someone else because everything's going to be attached to your identity.
Well, it's good. All of the talking points have been coming up recently. All about with the what's that thing in America? Wick? The one that almost got cut off? EBT. Because I was saying, you could just go in and buy it for someone else. And
then they did a thing where you can't buy certain sugary items with the EBT no more. And then everyone was like, yeah, because them people are scoundrels. And but they don't realize that EBT system is basically going to be for everyone. You're the one that's going to have your stake, your stake privileges reduced.
And it forces the companies that don't have the technology to basically filter out what that people are buying, forces them to get on board with that system.
Yep.
Right.
And then what they'll have as well is that you've got the company towns. Yeah, but they're doing it all. Elon's got them towns where they build the town specifically for the people that's working. And then so
we see the Amazon buses.
yeah.
And they just take Amazon.
So if you work in the Tesla town, you might get a little bit extra on your trip. But they show you that. There's a movie called what's the movie, man? It's Moon, Other Side of the Moon or Water Moon. It's on Netflix, and basically in the movie there's a shortage of water in the world, and you got these bands, and you go with the band, and then you tap the band on the machine, and then you get your allocation of water. But some men have got like the bronze band, some men have got the silver band, some men have got the gold band, and then you got the proper top dons. You get the platinum band, which is like unlimited, like you know,
it's like in time.
Yeah.
Remember who used to just do this big pop.
So the elites are gonna have their chip is gonna be unlimited, like, but everyone else is gonna have them limitations.
It says 0.5 normalization of surveillance to manage payments. Governments may expand digital ID, centralized databases, transaction monitoring.
Built right now.
Built
The
inside.
infrastructure. Yeah. So all that infrastructure is being built, and you're also being in a software being introduced to it through these banking apps. You go into these banking apps, bro. The app's breaking down your activity, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, would you? And you like on the Monzo, you tap spending, and it's categorized everything you bought,
And when and where.
when and where. That's how they know if it's fraud too. So you go to buy something, it's like, oh, you don't normally shop here. What are you doing?
Yeah, so pattern matching and stuff.
Someone will even tell you how much carbon it costs to
Yeah,
do
oh,
it.
yeah. So they get you used to that. Everything you do is analyzed and patterned and tracked. So
And the club card is like one of the first introductions into. Right now, Monzo know that you've gone to Sainsbury's or you've gone to Tesco. What they don't know is what you purchased. So then now you're getting these odd ones. Club card, because certain times you've got no choice but to use a club card. Like I'm gonna pay 24 quid without them, or I can pay £12. Like
Yeah.
these are times.
We're talking about strawberries.
Will be babies, isn't it? No, but you legit see that where it's like, why would I pay double the price? I will just scam up, but then now they're not. Okay, you purchase this, purchase this, and then they're just closing that loop. That's what they need now. Something that's going to come along and be like, oh, you don't even need to scan your club card, just use your card.
it ties into the whole system. Even the health crisis, which they created. You know, we still gotta catch up with that thing, but the health crisis is 100% created by these same companies. But now they've created a system where you have no discipline and your health is destroyed by your own means because you're buying all the Twinkies and all this shit. Yeah. Now they can turn around and got the healthcare crisis as well. So everyone's health premiums are through the roof because of the cost of treating all these fat fuckers. But it's true. Like there's a lot of health problems. It costs a lot. Even in the UK, the strain on the NHS. If everybody was genuinely healthy, it wouldn't cost that much. But obviously, there's bare baconites just yamming up the bacon, and then they got triple bypass and all kind of crazy shit going on, right? So now, this is the solution now. Well, why don't we have a system where, we'll give you the healthcare for free, but guess what? This is a stipulation. You now have to have this chip. This chip is going to monitor your health. But what if now that chip is then connected to the system? So it's like, if you buy or try and buy a certain type of foods, so this is where the whole system is going to be one, and that's why you got Palantir. The whole system is going to be one interconnected system of data to control everything about you, because your health is linked to what you eat. It is linked to where you live and what you travel. So if you're going to manage all these things, they can say, take this chip, and you won't have to worry about heart attacks. So we'll make sure that you eat healthy. We'll make sure you don't get cancer.
Well, the chip will become the new doctor.
Yeah, the smartwatch.
Yeah, because it will say, okay, you get a heart attack in 25 days, take 7 days. Yeah, that's true. Because remember, DARPA with C19 talking about a chip that can get the C19.
And then the thing is, because you got this blame culture that's going on, people be like, yeah, that's right, because I'm healthy. Why should I have to suffer? Because these motherfuckers want to eat their bacon. So put the constraints on them.
Yeah.
But then you'll be constrained in a different way.
People,
Yeah.
see it.
They don't see it coming. All these talking points that they push out is for a reason. Every crisis, ultimately, the solution is going to be the MOTV system. This system will fix everything. The AI and all that is going to make everything great. When really, it's just about controlling and how many strokes you could give your woman. And I have 5 strokes, no nut. That's your limit. Before you burn too many calories, man, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like that. I remember that article. Remember last time there was an article where it said they can control basically your eating habits. If you're thinking of a burger and you're obese, it can shock you.
That's
the
crazy.
chip.
Nah.
Yeah.
Because another thing, the brain chip.
Yeah.
The brain chip is
Brain
going to
chip.
be pushed like as ways to help you.
Mental health.
If you've got mental health problems or like you got certain vices,
Yeah.
it's going to help. Yeah, listen, Esau's going to sell this thing in various different ways, right? He's going to push himself forward as the savior.
Yeah.
Like he's the solution
Uh,
for all the problems that he's caused.
And remember, with the brain chips, there's even certain systems talking about instead of serving a 25-year sentence, your mind could be programmed to feel the effects of a 25-year. Like, how the
How
fuck?
the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
I saw that. I was like, wait, what? Still just be there. Ah,
Vegetable. That reminds me of what's it called? What's that program called? Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon.
They could
Where
black
he's
out.
put man in the VR and torture man.
For Psalms 94 and 20, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law.
And all these things really are going to come down mandatory from the government. Now you might say, well, that's crazy. The government, no, but they will. If there's a big enough crisis, they could do whatever they want. That's how things always happen. If you have a big enough crisis, people call for a solution. They could come up with whatever crazy solution, and people in their confusion will agree to it because of the pressure that's on them. And that's why the scripture says the devil will come down to you with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. They're about to bring crisis. And look at America. America's just the crisis is happening so fast you can't even think. Before you even could meditate on one crisis, the next crisis happened. Man. Every week. Next week is going to be a different thing to last week. Venezuela, this thing, ICE thing.
So much has happened, we forgot Anthony Joshua's boys done. Like, back in the day, that would have been like a story up until
Drawn out,
still
yeah.
on Sky News.
Man, forget about Gaza.
Yeah.
They got lit up again.
Now, can I bring this? Right, can you talk about the crisis, right? This is what we're waiting for that tipping point, right? Where the people are going to have no choice but to kind of conform and comply with what the government is requiring them to do because you ain't going to want to perish.
The CV showed you that. Man. You know, the thing is, the kind of psychological warfare that was done on the mind during the CVs, it's going to be studied. Remember, every single day at 5 o'clock, Boris Johnson would go up there on stage. You know, today there's been this many new infections and that many people have done. Every single day, it was like a mantra on repeat.
And it's
Bottom of,
nothing.
yeah,
And people don't
Exactly.
even understand numbers, so it's like they do it all the time. Like, 10 people got stabbed. And it's like, bro, you know there's 9 million people. Yeah.
bro, this bacon out of work and says, oh, mate, there's 39 people across the border today. I'm like, how you know? How do you know?
I did it. I did it.
Yeah, this is Genesis chapter 47, verse 13.
I've got to take this quote. Yeah,
You know, and there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore.
Was it Egypt?
Yeah.
It's funny, I was looking for that.
Oh,
I was thinking the same thing.
It's
was
Christ going to
crisis.
push people into
Yeah.
doing stuff they don't want to do.
Yeah.
But they got no choice. They don't feel like they're capable of dealing with themselves, so they're relying on the powers that exist to protect them, right? Because that's what they're for.
Yeah.
The government is there to actually to protect and help the people, but you know that's not how it really works here. But that's what it's supposed to be set up for, right?
And like,
Buddy
there
failure.
were stages.
Yeah.
Like, over time.
Because this was 7 years of time of famine that they were going through. So when it got to at some point in it, they might have to give up.
They gave everything
Let's
they
give
had.
up, man.
Why should we
You can't go on no more. So it's the same thing. So, it's been a process of time. People are being diminished as we go along, right? And so when we get to that point, when he sort of says, "Oh, well, you got to do this," then most people are going to be like, "Yeah," because we don't want to to eat.
But this is it. It's like for us, we know not to take this thing, but you get a lot of people that just see it as tech. You know, he will be like, "Yeah, man, put this thing in your head, speak as many languages as you want." And all they're thinking of is, "Oh, I'll be like Neo with this, that, and the other." They're just looking at it as tech. So, no, it's not just tech. You know,
You're surrendering to your rights.
You're right.
What, yeah. So I was because I think about it's like if we were to bring up the time of Antiochus with it, what people would probably be like, "Oh, it's just like it's just something." That's what people would say. It's just something.
Yeah.
You know, not understanding that naturally there's a whole spiritual.
These men would have already died.
Yeah,
But because the pressure was so massive on them, some man wanted to cave in, man. And they were, they tempted with that idea. But this is why our temptation is a thing, because you're going to be tempted to do it, right? You know, it's not what you should be doing, but you're going to do it anyway because you're just breaking under pressure, you know. But yeah, this Genesis 47, verse 13, and there was no bread in all the land for the famine was sore, very sore. So the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by the reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money fell in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, "Give us bread, but why should we die in thy presence?" Because that's going to be the fear. Because these men are going to be suffering. And it's not just the fact that they're going to find it hard to get food. It's going to be a fucking dangerous world, man. They're going to want protection. They're going to want assurance. You know, they're still going to need healthcare and all these types of things that they just like haven't got. They're not going to have access to it.
it's gonna go back to the Wild West, man.
Yeah.
You know, but I was thinking as well. It's like my guys were talking, like a lot of the doctrines and theologies, they all go out the window. When he pushes that crisis, it goes out. There ain't no more feminism. It's done. So right now,
But this is why this is the old world. This is why a new world. The old world's going to get done away with. New parameters, new laws, new this and that. If you think that you're gonna go, like you need healthcare, you think you're not in the future, you're not gonna be able to go to get healthcare without being identified, like on a digital data. You know what are people talking about? You think that's it's gonna be the way it is now? You just walk in to a GP. No, it ain't gonna work like that. They're gonna want to know who you are. Yeah. And you're gonna need verification for that.
That's it. Even from information, getting the document, find us at the end of the whole, well, it's like when you look at like 1984, like to torture, the police, submission. Yeah. You know, how many fingers am I holding up? Your answer is whatever the statements. Yeah. Like, people don't get that these elites want you in complete service to dominance and witchcraft to be mainstream. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what we say when the feminism and all that's going to roll.
It's all bullshit in the first place.
Like, all these troops going to be taking.
Someone who's a fight and bring chaos.
you know, just want to be so how many fingers am I holding? I remember thinking about that's like these teams. Like you'll be in the office. It's a dude, then you can see the star with the Adam's apple there, this, that, and the other good.
But I have to address the voice. Manly must.
Yeah, you know.
Big stick.
And then HR's like, no, that's a she.
They them.
Fuck out.
But yeah. Well, the future story. Verse 16. Yeah. And Joseph said, "Give your cattle, and I'll give you for your cattle if money fell." And he brought the cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle that year.
So at that point, they couldn't sustain themselves without Pharaoh. You know what I mean? Because a person would be like, oh, so how come they give the cattle for corn? But you know, you can just go and kill the cattle and eat. Yeah, but bro, that's a business. That's a substance that you can constantly build it. But now that the damn cattle can't even eat now.
But this is the thing: if you murder all the cattle now and eat it, once that was done,
It's done.
Right, you ain't gonna have nothing to graze with.
Yeah.
What you planting?
Yeah.
None of that's gonna be happening.
Yeah.
So certain livestock had to stay alive. But there's no way you could just milk off your cattle.
Remember, it was also a famine. So it's like there was probably droughts happening. Like where
They couldn't even feed their own cattle.
they couldn't even feed their own cattle.
But it's still a bomb.
So it's like,
But you know, Egypt can feed the
That's
cattle
what
at
I'm
least,
saying.
and they can work and do whatever and bring more. you
yeah,
know?
it's like at that point, if you give the Pharaoh at least he's got the resources. Well, it's sort of like how old is the least of buying a farm?
That's the thing. The government's going to have the means to
take
do
it
these
back.
things for you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's whether or not it's how they want to divide it between you, and that's why you're going to need the mark of the beast for to get that allocation of those goods or services or whatever. You know. So when that year was ended, verse 18, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, "We will not hide it from my Lord how that our money is spent. My Lord also have a herds of cattle. There is not all left in the sight of our Lord, my Lord, but our bodies and our lands." So you just ruined, you completely screwed them, right? You're willing to give yourself up, right? Wherefore shall we die before thy eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. And that's where Esau wants to get you to, man. So you sign all your damn fucking life by taking the MOTB. Because it'll be optional to begin with. Like I said, you might be, you can choose not to do it, but guess what? You're not going to have access to services, you're not going to have access to all these different things that's going on, right? And so eventually you might actually be put in that corner, and you're like, damn, I'm at the end of my wits here. You know what I mean? I've got no choice. I've got family to feed, they're dying. Why is it giving me hell? I'm going to sign up. I'm going to go sign up. I'm going to go stand in the line, go be in them chipping booths, I'm going to get chipped. So I can get my rations or whatever. That's what's going to happen, right? This is, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. Right? So there's going to be a whole poly crisis that's going to prevail over the people.
Crisis.
Yeah, ain't going to be just famine. There's going to be a whole bunch of that the ones that we're dealing with that you're just going to cave into. It's going to prevail over you and make you make this decision that's probably going to end you. Right? Because anyone that takes the mark of the beast is going to be destroyed by the Lord and his judgment. Right? But this the pressure is going to make you do these things. Because you ask a normal civilization, they're not going to want to be surveilled by the government and have things put in them and that kind of stuff. No one really wants that. But because you're going to be left with no other real options, because you haven't got faith in the scriptures, you're going to just do what the status quo is going to do. The hour of temptation is going to get to you, and you're going to give in and take that MOTB.
It said, "Let us be servants unto Pharaoh," right?
Yep.
So in this case, modern Egypt is what Babylon, Great America. So when that chip comes out, people are gonna willingly be servants to the elites, man, of Esau. There's nowhere else to go.
You sign yourself over. That's it. But when you go into the breakdown of the mark and the 666 and that kind of stuff, it goes into it's a badge of servitude to show who they belong to. So, yeah. Well, Esau is making you sign yourself over to him, as opposed to signing over to the Lord.
And on that
All them kinds of independence. People don't really realize, bro, while you're here, laughing it off, their plans to fucking destroy you. I mean, right? But it says, and this system has been built for a long time. This is a long time agenda.
Esau is turning his army inwards, right, and onto civilians, right? Because he knows that's where it's going to be at. Chaos. He's building chaos, right? So he's preparing his forces. Get more and more powers. We've seen with the ICE agents and all these types of things here. The militarization of the police, the National Guard, and everywhere. Like he's getting ready to attack.
you had what do you call it? I saw something I was saying 300 protests, anti-ICE protests this weekend or something like in the States. So that's 300 different groups of people being like, look, man, they don't want to do away with ICE. But it's just like, look, man, right now they make it seem like Trump has stepped down because not stepped back from the whole Minneapolis thing, but they're just going to move somewhere else.
Next point. Next point of contention.
It says, it's sharper to make a sore slaughter. It's furnished that it may glitter. So should we then make math?
So we spoke about all the death that's going to occur, right? And this is why we keep talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. To hell with everybody else, everyone wants to get caught in it, obviously. But we know this is about the Lord's people, right? So it's the time of Jacob's trouble that we're going to be really focused on. But you're already cashing hell on the Esau already. Yeah. Evidently, the agents or whatever, you're cashing hell already. But things are going to get far, far worse.
Oh, man. From time to face of a terrorist is fake. Now, a white lady can be a terrorist. A white lady can get shot while driving a car. And a white man can get pistol whipped, shot in the mouth. Like, that's it. All bets are off. So, because now, and it's like, what's interesting with these ICE troops is it's multinationals. It's like you have Mexican ICE troops. You got.
But that was the same with the Jane Home thing. It was all police.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all people from different countries because I remember we spoke about. I know Alex Jones was covering that type of shit, but they were saying because these nationals they got allegiances from America.
Yeah, exactly.
So they ain't gonna sit there feel bad about these.
Which I'm not sure what it was in Babylon. Like, I just can't remember. Was it when one of them wars they was fighting for their independence against Britain, where they had a lot of presidents coming to fight. I have to look it up. No. So it was like one of them back where like I'll find it first.
Fighting for independence fought against them.
I'll find it. But you actually wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of these ICE troops just paid for investment.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of those people coming up from the border.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them were saying there was a lot of military age men.
Yeah.
That was their amnesty.
When they say they they're going to do with us. Because the mercy is just a paid dude that fights, isn't it? It's like, we didn't do nothing. That's how they always do it.
Ephesians 5 and 7:15. See then that ye walk circumspect, not as fools, but as wise.
Right? And so we're trying to give you the lowdown of what's coming. Right? Why it's all being done and where it leads to. Right? Because it's all here, written for us in the prophecies. Right? That's why we have an inside take of what's going on. We don't listen to all the BS narratives that take place because obviously they're here to distract you and throw you off. Because everyone's got something to argue about and they're all confused. Yeah. Some might have a little bit of truth here, a little bit of truth there, but they're all confused. They don't really know what's going on. They don't know where we ultimately is because they always think there's a better America than this. Right? There's no America after this. Right? The only thing that's going to exist after this is the kingdom of heaven. Right? Which is moved by the Israelites. By the Yahweh Shai. That's what's going to happen after.
Yeah, I found.
You got it?
Yeah, it was the American Revolutionary War, and more specifically, commonly called the Hessians. It says the war was between Great Britain and the American colonies seeking independence. Many in Britain and even in America were reluctant to fight people they saw as kin. Same language, culture, and religion, even family ties. Britain therefore hired foreign mercenaries, mainly from German states. About 30,000 German soldiers were hired. Right? They were professional soldiers paid by Britain to fight colonial. So don't be surprised if that's what's happening. We're getting an influx of these. So because bro, I saw a video, bro. It was like a Ghanaian fucking ice troop, and he was handing them out. Hey, hey, come in now. I'm like, bro,
Come in now.
bro, I'm not even joking. Like, it was like a fucking migrant, a migrant troop. I'm like, what? So don't even be surprised if that's going on because from Babylon is split in it. So there's probably like a lot of people like in the military that are like, yo, man, our country's falling. You know what I mean? So I found it interesting.
Like the movie was Civil War.
Yeah.
That Edomite, what type of American are you? Time.
Yeah.
You know, because that's going to be important to these
Yeah.
men. You ask them all the question. Yeah. You know. So yeah, we keep telling you all this time that's coming, where it leads to, man. You know, like I said, time travel is not. We started it. We're not in the thick of it. In terms, we're not at the peak of it, but you know, we're getting there. Trump is making all the right moves for that. You know, and the chaos he's building up in the world too, and all the other nations and that. You know, it's not been long since World Punk Sundays.
And I find it kind of interesting when it said why Britain used it. There was a point that it mentioned speed. Right? It says speed. Hiring troops was faster than racing and training humans. So that's interesting. You know what I mean? Because it's like because it just makes you think this whole thing. You know, ice. The way these guys just pop up from these guys are already obviously trained. Of course, you know they're trying to obviously paint the narrative. It's like, yeah, it's going to sign up and you know get a gun, do what you want. Hey, it's interesting. It's just interesting.
I was told apparently ICE was something that existed even before.
Yeah.
So their operations were different.
Yeah.
And so now they're being deployed to do what they're doing now. So they've been given greater authority to do what they do now. So I guess these guys always kind of been there.
Yeah.
I was immigration custody.
Yeah. Immigration and custody. You know.
No, but they should be given greater power.
Yeah, they give great powers. And then when you have the like insurrection, this is you know.
Yeah, because they're like they actually repeating that. They know they come against them. Now you're wrong. You know they're breaking the law and shit.
And there's actually there's of a lot of these
You're a terrorist now.
like ICE troops or whatever. So some of them doing it are already like in like ex-military or even military already. You know what I mean? I have a friend that's got a sibling.
Patriots.
You know what I mean? That's got a sibling over there like in the military. It's a kind of like, you know what I mean? Like if you want to do it in the army to get some make some extra money, you can. So I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Patriots.
Yeah.
They want to fit their country.
Yeah. So
You see? So this is Matthew 24, verse 6, and it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So you're hearing about all these these people protesting ICE and that these men left by getting their guns and getting ready to go out on, civil war is going to occur.
yeah.
Civil war is going to occur. I that dude that was talking madness, the other day. I don't know if he's done anything about it or whatever. Doubt it. That's all talk for now, but it's going to happen eventually.
Military age.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yep. Then it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." So yeah, nation is rising against other nations. That's what you see in the news, man. See the whole situation with Gaza, the Israeli state, Iran. See tensions between America, Russia, China, and guess what? Even internal peace. Okay, civil wars in America. Yeah, that's going to be turning up here as well, the UK as well. So yeah, for white nationalists and all of that, left and right business. So there's going to be war everywhere. Yeah.
What's that? So we got that Second Ezra 15. Yeah, I was just speaking to one of the elders from Elder Michael Hunter from Chicago. He says, and he was just saying that in America, the Edomites ready to tear each other apart, man. The left and the right, up and the down. All these Edomites are marking out, man. But that same thing's happening in Europe, man. You got division between the left-wing Edomites, the lefties, and the right-wing Nazis. You know what I mean? Classism, class war.
But that's part of the prophecy. This kingdom be divided.
Yeah. And now, it's funny. We low level Baconites here. I actually seen good, like a good conversation that brothers been having in videos. Like there are people that were supposed to be, you know what I mean, against ICE, or like you know,
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah.
You know,
For it.
yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah.
Like those that were supposed to protect the Second Amendment are now.
Well, they're
Yeah.
the don't tread on me, dogs.
Yeah.
They're the dudes with the rattlesnake that said don't tread on me,
Yeah.
and now they're bootlicking
Yeah.
with the state, man.
Yeah. And now on the flip side, these Baconites, oh, but let's protect our country. They actually campaigning for that style of thing here in the UK. It just shows you fucking Eastwood can change the narrative of where people are.
People just follow. People just follow.
They just follow it.
Yeah. It's again just showing you that these Edomites are listen, they're just people, man. They're the mob.
No IQ.
They're the mob. The Esau has always been the mob. Don't let them fool you. Rome is the mob. They're not these high IQ, sophisticated, super intellectual beings that they claim to be. The average Edomite is a low IQ emotional beast, and they're easily manipulated. You know, get them, you know, and then they'll go against their own principles. One they'll have a principle 1 week, and the next week they'll go against that principle because they're emotional. They're emotional. The right wingers were against half of what Trump. If you were to supplant Biden in Trump's position and have Biden be doing everything Trump's doing, they would be losing their minds saying the New World Order taking over, is globalism. Oh, because Trump's doing it, they have to defend it. They have to excuse it because they're now emotionally invested in the cult of personality. And that's the nature of a person who lacks integrity. You should never be invested into a man. Period. You should never be invested into a man to the point where you now change your morals because you don't want to look back. Yeah. And that's how, you know, and in a way, we're all like that a little bit. Because, you know, what I'm saying is, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know when man, like, you got, you know, you take off your high IQ hat and you become a low IQ civilian. And you're arguing about football, and you know your player's dusty.
See, I'm above the argument, bro.
Well, you know your player's dusty, but you're just gonna argue he's not dusty because
it's all like Xerxes. That's what I'm saying.
That's not a serious thing. We do that joking around. We're not throwing our principles away. We're just having a bit of banter, isn't it? But these men are like that in real life. They'll say they don't. Murder's not correct. Then the guy they suck off does some murder, and all of a sudden it's like,
he deserved it.
You know, it's like, well, what happened to your principles? No, you don't have any principles. Integrity is supposed to. The Bible says, "Follow not a multitude to do evil." So there's a saying on the islands: right are right and wrong are wrong. But because they've set up this left-right, if you're on the left, anything the right does is wrong, and if you're on the right, anything the left does is wrong, and it's wrong. So you become a hypocrite. You become a hypocrite because when your man lies, you defend it. When their man lies, liars, we don't like lies.
Yeah.
But your guy lies, you're like, well,
bro, Trump was the vaccine president. You know what I mean? But a lot of them was all against it.
That's why you can't trust these people. They don't have no morals. They don't have. That's why when they tell you they're Christian, we laugh. Like, okay, cool. What does that mean? Because what moral
has no weight.
It has no moral weight because they call themselves Christians, but they'll commit atrocities,
Genocide,
just like that, and they'll justify it. So it doesn't matter if an Edomite calls themselves a Christian because that has no bearing on anything. They will flip. One day it's love thy neighbor, the next day they're dropping a bomb on your head. Like, it just depends on how they feel that day, and there will be a Christian both days. So what does it matter? What does it matter to be a Republican? What does it matter to be a Democrat? No, it's only devils. That's it. And they're Edomites and they're devils, and they will follow the lust of their flesh. So when they feel like killing, they're going to kill. And when they don't feel, they won't. That's all it is. When they feel like lying, they're going to lie. And then another day, they're against lies. It just depends on the day. And that's why there's nothing more dangerous than the low IQ Edomite man. Because they're extremely violent and dumb. they're extremely violent and dumb, and you're about to see it because they're about to go buck wild in these streets and act like third world chimps. Meanwhile, they spent the last 10 years talking about how everyone else is a third world chimp. You ever notice that? Esau will chimp out and it's okay. You chimp out, oh,
He's a sophisticated chip.
bro, you about to see Esau chimp out.
Chip your Rolex.
Hey.
Since we'll get his
Okay, so
Ecclesiasticus 27:11. The discourse of a godly man is always his wisdom, but a fool changes as the moon.
That's these Edomites. They're really a nation of fools. They're not high IQ at all.
children of fools, children of basic.
All you gotta do is go on Twitter and watch these men contradict each other constantly. You're like, bro, like, what are you talking about?
What, bro? Remember that video this week I sent you? Baconite going into migrant home.
yeah. I hate the voices going.
Bro, bro, the guy's just in the house.
Look at this.
This guy, oh what? So have you got a tap there? Have you got a fridge? Like, nigga, what? Like,
Yeah, but the
that's
thing is, though,
ridiculous.
at the same time, they'll tell you these people are violent.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What they call them, fire and age men.
Fighting.
And my man was soft as hell. He was like, hey, I just let you in his house. So again, there's a contradiction there. So next week there'll be bloodthirsty, violent criminals, but this week they're guys that let you in your house with your mobile phone, so you can see them.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah. It's sort of like when you see these guys stand at a roundabout with flags.
Yeah.
Bro, the migrants come in. They just
But that's the
clean
thing.
toilets.
Their thing is against illegal immigrants. But that thing wasn't illegal immigrants.
No, but there is no such thing as an illegal species. There ain't no such thing as an illegal. See, this is what Esau does. They play with words, and it only works on these low-level Edomites because they're not smart.
They don't understand it.
There's no such thing. You cannot be an illegal. If you're in a war-torn zone, under Esau's own human rights, you could become an asylum seeker. But in order to become an asylum seeker, you need to enter the country, right, and then claim for asylum. This is why the guys get the rubber dinghies, because you can't get a plane. They'll turn you away at the airport. You gotta come in, get into the country, and once you get here, you say, I want to claim asylum. Then they put you through the asylum seeking process. If you pass the process, guess what? You're not an illegal immigrant. You're a fucking asylum seeker. If you fail the process, then you're an illegal immigrant. Those are not the dudes getting houses. Them dudes get put in a fucking one of the makeshift prison things, and then they get deported. But before all that happens, the guys in the hotels are mans that have applied for asylum seeking. So they've done that legally, you dickhead. That's why it's got a legal process. But you can't explain that to a high IQ first worlder. They don't understand legalities, do they? Oh no, he was just an illegal immigrant. You idiot. And then running up in man's house talking about how there's homeless people. But most homeless Edomites are there because they're on meth or they're on fucking crack. They're not homeless because they can't get a house. In the UK, no person that's right and sane in their mind should be homeless, because if there's not a home available in your council area, you could just go anywhere else here and they'll put you up. You're homeless because you want to be in that area where the plug is. You could go to Birmingham. How quickly can you go to Birmingham, Nottingham, all these places outside London and get a house? Quick. Obviously in London, it's not that quick to get a house. Like
Wales.
Well, bro, you get a house like that in Wales because guess what? It's not as populated. So all the homeless men in London that's on the street taking crack, they can get a house in the UK. These asylum seekers, the reason they easily get houses is because they don't let them choose. They don't get to say, oh, I want a house in Barking and Dagenham. No, it's like, listen, you're going here and we got a place for you there. These homeless men ain't doing it. But they don't want a house. They want to smoke crack. So let's not. You know what I mean? They're mentally ill people that are on crack. Let's be honest.
This is second others.
It's in America, man. In America, they don't have that system. So you could legit want to live somewhere, but can't. In the UK, that's not possible. We have a welfare state. They'll put you in a damn hostel. That's not fucking. Now, why are we playing games for? Like, that's not the case.
They will find you a place.
If you're really desperate for somewhere to stay,
I've seen it. They'll find you a place.
they'll find you, bro.
Find you somewhere in the
South End or
Leeds, dingy Leeds. I seen it. I saw the baby in the middle. told you, bro. Them play. I like this is my good city. This is second Ezra 13. Second Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell upon the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, one realm against another.
That's what you see. Racism is coming back in a big way. And these Edomites pretended through the political correctness era, they pretended they weren't racist. I'm politically correct. I won't use the word nigger. Now they're fighting to use it.
Yeah.
Now they're like, yeah, I want to use it. Like, now they're doubling down on it and feeling justified to be racist assholes.
Yeah.
And then they want to blame all their problems on Jake and all the other nations. Like they were just some innocent Edomites helping everyone in the world, and now everybody don't like them. No, you've been the devil.
Yeah.
The only reason why you're really upset is because your own people have destroyed you. The Chinese took all the money. No, they didn't.
Bro,
What the fuck is he talking? There was in sweatshops, man. Everybody took all your money.
man's looking everywhere except that they're fucking elite.
It was you. You and your stupidity has led you to where you are today, man, because you don't know how to look after your brother, man. You're a devil, but now it's the immigrants' fault that you're stupid. And that's really what it is.
Stupid.
Now you Edomites have started to realize that being an Edomite ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Not enough.
Because no one is there to basically pander to you.
No one cares.
In America, you get pistol whipped and shot.
Yeah, no one cares.
Like,
People don't care about you.
Yeah.
You turn
The
the
nation don't
TV
care
on,
about you.
you see Floyd Mayweather with 1 billion diamonds on, and you're hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Because you're like, how is it that in this kingdom, I'm white and I'm down bad, yeah? Like I ain't got a woman. I got to go on OnlyFans and pay some old CFP. Yeah, I'm probably an incel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or gay, right? And then you got this. You see a Jake on the tube with a suit on, like you know what I mean? Yeah.
Fucking Anthony Joshua beating up Jake Paul.
Yeah.
That's over, man.
And you're hurt because you feel that this world isn't providing you what you think you deserve.
But this is it. This is what you see. These Baconites complaining about these immigrants, right, or whatever, right? Is that they're looking at these immigrants like, oh, they're living in these better places that they're living in. They got houses themselves. These immigrants got houses. The people they're complaining about, it's not them.
And it's
They got
immigrants are
houses.
not living
It's
in
just
better places.
Yeah, they're not. But they're actually not.
Yeah, but these immigrants really didn't fix the
And
so I
I mean, that guy, what they showed in the video, was in obviously like a decent yard that just been renovated.
Yeah.
That the
That's
people
what
who renovated it then could earn money renting it out to the government.
Yeah.
But go to East Ham or somewhere, yeah, you see these men living in some dingy house, 20 man in a house. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Men's living in sheds. Like,
yeah,
like
it came out the other day. Like there's people who rent like half a room.
yeah,
They'll rent a single.
doing Deliveroo, bro.
Huh.
20 man in a room sharing a Deliveroo bike.
Musty as hell, turn it to incense, like, because it's very heat in the room, bro. That's how it is. These migrants ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but then when they see a migrant come and they're a doctor now, well, the reason you're not a doctor is because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And you know, but we have to keep it 100%. You Edomites need to realize that you had every opportunity. This is the worst thing about these Edomites, right? They're acting like DEI. No, every Edomite has way more opportunity than anyone because you always got the benefit of the doubt. You're always gonna get more opportunity than a Jake because as soon as a Jake does anything, we gotta do it twice as better. Yeah, we gotta do it twice as good. Yeah? And we have to deal with the fact that we get looked down upon. We're gonna get scrutinized more. And even if we do well, man won't even accept that you belong there. They'll just say you're DEI. You don't have to face all that. No one ain't stopping none of you Edomites from being doctors, from being farmers, opticians. Same way Elam goes and becomes opticians. Yeah, no one ain't stopped you from doing it. The problem is that the majority of you Edomites are actually not excellent people. You're actually not intellectuals. You're not smart. You're not good enough. You're mediocre. You wanted to be a footballer, but you just can't, man. Because you ain't got the genetics to be a footballer, and no one ain't trying to just give you a big title for a job. So you're screwed. Whose fault is this?
Yeah.
Pull your socks up Yeah, but your boot shut and get on with it, bro.
Yep. I have a quick one. Deuteronomy 30:7. And Lord will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which pursue thee, persecute.
The curses is coming on you, Edomites, and it's gonna get worse.
Well, Babylon is Egypt, and Egypt's been cursed as plagues as before. You know? And I sent you the information when I was going into it, the psychological effects of the plagues in Egypt. Bro, you see the whole systematic breakdown. People using their mind, seeing their wants, personal attack, food, their food supply being harmed.
Look, that reminds me of basically these generations of Edomites now hurt because they're not receiving the benefits their grandparents' generation received. They're not getting none of the benefits. They got mental health issues. They're broke. They got relationship problems.
Because your time at the top is over.
Done.
The top species, the top race on the earth is over.
You ain't having no babies. Whose fault is that? They try to blame everyone else because you ain't having no babies. Bro. Too scared. You ain't having no youths, bro, and you trying to blame the rest of the world. Who's stopping you from having youths? Oh, the black man ain't taking all the white men. I don't know who told you. There's this pro. I don't know what world you're living in. Bro. There's plenty of white men for you. So why are you not having no babies? Whose fault is that? That's you. You did that. You're the one in the management.
Yeah, and bruv, you're natural batty boys, bro. You know what I mean? Especially these bacon Brits. They're batty boys. You know what I mean? You know, these low IQ, baconized Brits. You know, sports holidays. They go and
Batty on the weekend,
they go do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? You're a natural freaks, man. And you're interested, like me and the brother was doing a video about it, and then we was touching on like the point of ancient Rome, why you know they have the naked statue, then they have like their baby rods, that kind of stuff. But the point was though.
What's your baby?
But the point was no. Okay, that's great. But the point is this.
That man come out on the ITV programs.
Yeah.
TV
But basically in ancient Greece, the reason why they were doing that was because them being that style was linked to like them kind of having a higher grade of wisdom. But then if you had like, exactly. So it's like an ancient version of
Scientific racism.
So IQ, high IQ.
Yeah.
It was an ancient because basically it's like if it sounds crazy, but if you're small, it's like you're more intelligent and more not.
Your brain's not in your balls.
You're not
You
giving
know what that
your life.
sounds like? That sounds like cope.
Yeah.
That sounds like elite level cope.
But you know what's interesting now?
You're not ashamed.
But now, you know what they're saying now? People from low IQ
are the ones having all the youth.
countries, like i.e. the global south, so the Caribbean, West Coast, all of that, are having more children because they're low IQ.
Yeah, that's cope.
It's the same shit.
It's the same.
It's the same shit.
The real truth is because you look at those statues too. They all got they're not manly bodies, but they're boys.
Yeah.
It's because you like boys.
Yeah, that's it.
Like with those little peas and smooth skin and things, bro.
So-
little boy.
Because they're freaks. They're natural freaks. That's why nothing's.
That's where you see the man falling in love with cars.
Yeah.
Guys marrying their car, and then you want to talk about birth rates. Maybe don't marry cars, but you know what I mean. Marrying trees.
I have precept. This is
You're into every form of sexual perversion
yeah.
that you could possibly imagine these Edomites are into.
Yeah.
You're a woman, bro. It's easy money out here.
Yeah.
You can make money selling toenail clippings,
Farts in a jar.
farts in a jar. And who do you think buying all that? Edomites. man.
Edomites, bro.
These people ain't fit for purpose.
Can I get
man.
2, please?
Go ahead.
This is
they're disgusting creatures, man. And they'll act like they're not like that. They're the civilized people. No, you're like low level
Yeah.
scum.
Yeah, wearing a gimp suit, freaky ass,
Yeah, with a tennis ball in your mouth.
freaky ass Eve, bro.
Oh, please, sir.
Freaky Eve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Joel 30 verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers would have disdain to set with the dogs of my flock.
Yeah, you're not elite among men. You may have had the supremacy because the creatures of the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? But in actual fact here, you are not the elite. You just happen to have that top position and the money and the prestige. So you covered over what you actually are.
Yep.
And there's a saying on the islands, you could put a pig in a palace, but it still remains a pig. You're really just a pig in a palace. Your heart and everything about you is hedonistic. Even though you try to make it look like you're the people of higher nature, and no, you're not. You're really the people of the lowest.
But there's nothing more profane.
Yeah. Because your elites are profane. Look at their elite parties, man. Look at the occultism that they're into. Even when you go back to Sadi, remember, you go back to Said Marquis de Sade. Yeah, Marquis de Sade was a nobleman. That's where you get all the sadism. And then when you go back to the 120 Days of Sodom, what was that film about? That film was about Italian elites, noblemen, performing all these foul and foul acts. And then we don't, look at the Epstein thing. What's the Epstein thing supposedly all about? Again, elites doing all these odious works of witchcraft and all this hedonistic behavior. So when you really break it down, they have no elites. They have no people that are noble.
Classy,
You have no class. You have the pretense of class, and then as soon as they get behind closed doors, them man are in flipping. What's it called? The skull and bones.
Yeah.
Them man are jerking off in a coffin, blood on each other and shit.
Weirdo.
Yeah, I would be so. All right. Wisdom.
Then you vote man to be president.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wisdom, chapter 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land.
Right, the history lesson. The Holy Land, which is the land of Israel, was once inhabited by the Canaanites, which is one of the sons of Ham, man. And they're heathens. They're heathens by nature.
Yeah.
Hamites.
And
Now Esau would look down on them crazy Africans, but Esau is like that.
No, well, I saw, if you watch that documentary piece by Jordan Maxwell and Houston Mullins, they tell you that these elites they're based in witchcraft and ancient Canaan.
They're like that, man. When you see, listen, man, you see them Hamites here with the big plate lips here. Edomites do that.
Have you seen the fucking earrings?
Yeah, look like lizards.
Edomites do everything heathenistic. Like, let's not pretend like they're just all these elves. No, man. He's a big heathen, a big dirty stinking heathen. Even that Edomite woman that time, that video I posted where she was kissing up the dog and she had the dog's tongue in her mouth. Like, only a heathen will have a dog's tongue in her mouth. Man. How do you have a dog's tongue in your mouth? Man? How disgusting that is, man. These Edomites have been getting away with a lot of shit.
That's the Edomite thing to do.
Yeah. And it's normal to them.
It's normal to them.
It's nasty.
Even when they eat side by side, dogs kissing you, sharing the same plate.
There was a dude who was doing that, sharing steak and kissing
Yeah,
each other. What the fuck, man?
Eating
Birthday steak and shit.
Anything that's heathenistic, nudist beach, swinging, anything you can think of, Esau's into it, man. On a high level, like they do it, man. They're furries. Edomites with flipping, pretending they're dogs and sleeping in a kennel and shit, bro. And then they'll turn around and point the finger at other people. No, you Edomites represent the height of heathenism, man.
The lowest of the basis of all people was told you.
Those are the thing on Channel 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The guy was always these IT. Watch out for these IT guys, man. Yeah. But this guy was an IT guy, and he was an IT manager during the day, so he's barking orders at people. And then at night, he's getting into dog costumes, man.
Yeah.
Right, sitting next to his wife.
You got Edomites that believe that they're dragons. You know what I mean, bro? No, man. If you actually look up the amount of madness that Edomites are into, it's never ending.
Yep.
You got remember you had bomb fights. You had what was the other one? Jackass.
Yeah. Fucking American.
They could do all this crazy off the wall crazy shit. It's funny, but then point the finger at everyone else
Shit.
and everyone else is low
Lewd,
IQ.
lewd. Even
Lewd.
the whole job, like changing room culture. Jake just trying to change and go home, bro.
He's all
He's
the
pulling out.
tickle balls.
I just think about something, right? You know, that was that Mizzy.
Busy.
Yeah, that dickhead, right?
Yeah.
Right, we don't fucking like the dude.
He changed his life, by the way.
Good, I'm glad. Right? But the things like the jackasses that inspires dudes like that.
It's true.
You know,
What Jackass was doing was way worse than
That's
what
way-
Lil Wayne was doing.
well, the one would get on this dude though for going into man's house and stuff. But what are you doing though? You was doing the same
Bro,
thing. But it was,
they
you know,
used
it
to
was-
have bum
we
fights. There
celebrated
was a
the
video
big
they had
shit.
back in the day called bum fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What fight was that?
No.
It was all different crazy shit
Always-
from
always
America,
like-
yeah.
Okay, but
But the main thing with it, they used to get like pay homeless
Oh, that's
people to pay homeless people to fight. But it was also kind of crazy shit on there. Like, bro, these Edomites, just look at the porn industry. Bro, there's mad porn out there. It's demonic. It's the Edomites, man.
No, it's small house. Yeah.
in a sense,
Well, they're Edomites.
also, and this is back in verse 5, and also those merciless murders of children.
Yeah, they were.
Without,
So they were. Oh, did we miss a bit?
no,
Read about the top bit again.
it says, "Whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft."
These Edomites are into them odious works of witchcraft, beginning with their elites. And when we say odious, meaning it involves feces, it involves piss, it involves blood, it involves children, it involves homosexuality. That's why you had Aleister Crowley and sex magic, and you had the OTO. And the highest level of sex magic is when you get to pedophilia.
What a quick scandal. This was 1982, the Los Angeles fetus disposal scandal. The Los Angeles fetus disposal scandal was a 1982 discovery of 16,000 aborted fetuses being improperly stored at Malvin Weisberg's.
Sounds like time parallel.
No, Marvin Weisberg's Woodland Hills, California home. Right? So basically, if you look at it and you actually see clips of the container driver. So it was just like 16,000 like Jake babies. Heads here, arm here.
Industrialized child sacrifice. And then you got all the sacrifice that's happening outside of that. You know, you got the Mark Patrol scandal and all that, man. These Edomites are into that.
It says it was called a national tragedy by then President Ronald Reagan and inspired a song by Pat Boone where the fetuses finally were buried in 1985. They were only buried because they was caught.
Yeah.
But why they in the container in the first place?
Nasty, odious. Incest. They're into incest. Incest is part of and that's why they push it in the repeating. Yeah, they do a lot of brother sister. Well, hold on. Let's the odiousness. The Egyptians were into the odiousness. That's why what's it? Is it Leviticus 20? Is it 26?
Oh yeah. Don't do what after the minute.
And then these idiots come and tell you, oh, the Israelites copied the Bible from Egypt. How, my nigga?
Bro.
They literally said, don't do what the Egyptians do. How's that copied?
Them Egyptians were so 1680 God. Them niggas had a festival where they all link up, all the regal authorities, and go to them now and wank. It's just ejaculate into them now.
What?
I'm serious. All of the elites were link up, standing there and fucking
When Jake link up, which is tricky.
yeah. Bro, they would all link up and go to
playing
them
man
now.
intense, bro.
Ejaculate into them now.
Link up, oh, man.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Human
no. They were into.
no.
They were also into the which all these nations. That was part of witchcraft and part of the what separated us from these other nations was our rites and rituals were clean. Their rites and rituals are the opposite. That's why Aleister Crowley, going back to Aleister Crowley, he said, listen, his mission was to do the most odious works of witchcraft possible because that gives you power on the left hand side. So one of the rituals he actually did was he got his woman to have sex with a goat, and then she shat on an altar and he ate it. Odious works of witchcraft. His thing was so odious that he had a bunch of disciples that he took out into the shires with him, and it got so mad that they all left him because man was doing so much freaky deaky madness here that they couldn't take it no more, and they all left him. And this is all on record, and all of this stuff is what all these elites are into, and all their little underlings like Cassie and P. Diddy and all these little sex slaves. They're all into all that freaky deaky stuff because that's what they initiate you into. All that odious works of witchcraft, blood magic, and all that stuff.
I what you asked for.
Okay, yeah, go on.
This is the Leviticus 18:3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall not do.
Which America's Egypt all over again, by the way.
Yeah.
They got all the same. They got Memphis. They got all the same
Solomon in Egypt.
demonic nature.
Canaan,
In fact, Egypt. Let me say this, Salakia. Egypt was so freaky deaky. Did you know? Because in the beginning of Rome was kind of very conservative in terms of their traditions and disciplines. Like they were strict in terms of marriages and things of that nature. Rome flipped and went super freaky deaky and wicked. Go on. Now you had a guy. You had what's his name? Was it Octavius? Was it Octavius or?
Safe.
what like that? Speak up the morals of it.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it
Octavius.
Augustus? Was it Octavius?
Yeah.
Octavius, right? Now you go back into that history. He was like, "Yo, it's too much adultery,
I
too
think
much."
I think it was Augustus.
Was it Augustus? It might have been Augustus, bro.
He's on
No,
his reign, isn't it? He's on his reign.
I swear that's part of his name anyway.
Yeah, because he tried to clean up the empire.
I think it's the same.
He
person.
tried to clean up the empire and bring it back
Nah.
to morals, basically, yeah? And his daughter all undermined him because his daughter was a well-known thought, yeah? So he ended up banishing his daughter and banishing the poet, the political commentator at the time, who was a poet, who kept exposing it. He banished her as well, but he didn't save Rome. Rome still fell into abject madness. But at that time, they had something called the same thing. You know, like when these Edomites, they'll fly out to Ibiza and they'll do madness. That was Egypt. But when you go back into Rome, they used to go to Egypt. So the things they couldn't do in Rome at that time, they go to Egypt and just have mad. All the madness. And eventually all that shit ended up just coming back to Rome and they just did it there anyway. Right?
Wasn't that whole period called what's called the thousand packs? Father, innit?
Back to Romana.
Like, bro, when it was like music saying after that, fine. This
Moral decline, which is what you see.
I have a bit on that. Augustus Octavian enacted a sweeping state mandating. Right? It says it enacted a sweeping state mandated moral overhaul of Roman society, aiming to reverse what he viewed as the moral decline of the late republic.
Now, really, what they wanted to do was put all the wickedness they were doing back behind the closet.
Yeah,
Just like America today. These right wingers, what they want to do is put Batman-ism back behind the closet.
Yeah.
But it's still a Batman.
Yeah.
They wanted to do the Brokeback Mountain. You know, in Brokeback Mountain, the man I got a wife, yeah. But then they go out into the woods and start riding the legs of each other.
They wanted to go rent.
Yeah.
They wanted to go romance in the idea.
Because all these right wingers are gay. I don't know who they're all watching all the gay porn and doing all the wickedness and dealing with the trannies, but they want to do all that stuff behind closed doors and have the moral outlook, yeah, to the you know, on the front street. Whereas the left are like, yo, just bring all the trannies and all that out to the front street. That's really the only difference between the left and the right. One wants to keep it in the closet, and one wants to do it out on front street.
Again, they'll say we're wrong. And the penny show you for that.
It says this. His reforms focus on reviving traditional Roman virtues, such as piety, more monogamy, right, and family life, right, and basically
So you tried to reverse the sexual
Yeah.
revolution.
yeah, which if we keep it real, the Roman Republic itself, like the real first leaders, it wasn't even them, you know, because
No.
they had
So Etruscans.
the Christians. But Esau's a natural freak, so his wickedness is still gonna come out because remember Greece, bro,
Yeah.
which again the Greeks love Egypt, you know? So it's like
I said
they both had that link.
He was multiplied.
Finish that one in Leviticus, and then we go back to yeah, evils was multiplied in the earth because Esau is corruption personified, man. Okay, cool. Esau is corruption incarnate, man. Anything he's gonna bring the corruption.
That's why he's de-wicked.
He corrupted sex, man. That's what. Listen, the way these Edomites are, right? If they have a wife, yeah, their thing is, yeah, she ain't a good wife unless they have an anal sex.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make like they desired it like to that degree that it's like the best wife you could have is the one that is you bone her in the ass, and it's like what the fuck are you doing here? No wonder your birth rate's up. Yeah, it's just in them to be deviant. They have a deviant nature. That's why when they're growing up together. Well, I heard stories. Didn't happen to me, because trust me. First of all, I won't be telling the story. Secondly, I'd probably be dead or in jail because no man can't do this. I heard stories, and this brother knows who I'm talking about. I just can't say no names. I heard stories where them man were together, chilling for a sleepover, and next man have put their rod in next man's mouth, blood, like it's a joke.
I'm sure you told me the story before.
Man's like, I was like, what? Yeah, man's put his rod in a man's mouth like it's a joke. Bro, that's unthinkable.
fucking gay.
Bro, first of all, if you did that to a Jake, like that would be an undying war.
Yeah.
Warfare forever, bro. Man will kill you, bro. Man will go to the kitchen, get a knife, and stab you, bro. Like, no doubt, bro. That's a violation. Beyond, in fact, at first you might even be in shock, like, what? But this is the kind of thing that these Edomites do.
But they think it's fun.
They think it's funny. They think it's a joke because they got a deviant nature, man.
Because who the fuck talk?
What we do?
Where'd you even get that from?
What do you think about
This
this?
is your fucked up mind.
They try to grab each other's dicks. Oh, we know, man. Like, we grew up among Edomites, and we know the type of shit that they try to put your trousers down, try to grab your dick and all this. Like, what are you doing, bro? Can't we just kick ball, man?
Exactly. No, he's always hit.
Oh.
Leviticus 18:3 says, after the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
So it was both. This sexual depravity, this sexual over-sexualization, because sex has been completely overdone and corrupted in the society. We live in low vibration, and we're exposed to all kind of freakiness, and it's messing up the minds of the youths and what they think is like it's true. Porn is not real sex, bro. Porn is fake. It's a bunch of fucking trafficked women that are getting abused, and they have to make it look like it's enjoyable. And then man watch that and think that's what sex is supposed to be like, and they copy it. It's a lot of humiliation rituals. You know, that's why it could involve piss and spitting. Like, what the hell? You start spitting on a woman. Like, what are we doing here? Bro? Spit in her face. Like, when did that come in? All that shit come from porn. No one ain't ever got with a woman and said, you know what I really want to do? I really want to just spit in her face. And piss in her mouth or something.
The base of
What are we doing? That's just humiliation rituals, man.
recently the UK made it an offense to, like, for instance, there was a period of time where strangling was the in thing on adult entertainment, and then the UK recently was like, yeah, you're going to jail. Like, if you watch it, if you watch it, basically they banned that now.
So,
Necrophilia, like my man Jimmy Savile. That's a worst part of the odious works of witchcraft. Necrophilia. But you see, notice it says Egypt and Canaan. because both the Canaanites and the Egyptians were into all this wickedness. And Esau, like the brother was saying before he left, Esau follows all of the rituals and the culture of the ancient Egyptians and the Canaanites.
So we had the experience, obviously, being in Egypt, we saw things that were really good. And obviously, as we were into Canaan, we was going to see the shit that they were doing as we went through it. You know, and that's the Lord warned us, don't do what these men do, because this is why judgment's coming upon them. You know, why they're getting murked right now, because they're all these things that they've done. Oh, you're going to go in the land, but you're not going to follow them after their way. Otherwise, you're going to end up the same way.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's like all of the stuff that we've been seeing here. We go. No, you don't do that.
It's insane. It's insane. The sex has been destroyed in this kingdom, man. Yeah. It's overly done. They use sex to sell burgers, man. It's mad. I was saying to a brother the other day, we actually don't know what it's like to not be sexualized. As a man in this society, you're aroused 24/7. It's not supposed to be like that. The testosterone is getting triggered like for sex all the time. Whereas testosterone is a hormone that's actually not just for sex, it's also for motivation and mental clarity and focus. But you can't even use it for that, because you walk down the street, there's leggings, there's a poster, a gal with their breast out, there's the everything is pushing sex into your mind in this kingdom, and it's by design. It's to lower your vibration. That's true. And then they add in all the freakiness, and then man are just lost out here doing madness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go on.
Yeah. So it says, neither shall you walk in their ordinances.
After the rituals and their rites that they have.
Even that's wickedness, because toys is what, as far as I know, toys is for children. So the man can't even about sex toys. And why do you need a sex toy for? And then you go in the shop and there's bare toys. What's going on? You think about it, that in itself is madness, because why do you need all this extras, man? You don't need no extra stuff, man. Trust me, I don't need it. The Lord gave us the only thing we need, and we can use it. But these men have got all kind of mechanisms and all kind of vibrators. What the fuck you need all that for?
And the thing is what's like they go beyond the scope of like for instance, Edomites all have ones that are phalluses that are shaped like dog ones, horses and stuff like that. So what's going on?
What are we doing here, man? So, blood, like I always say, we don't play with gal, you know, blood. Man, come with this plating, blood. Man, play with children, blood. Don't play with gal, blood. How you mean, blood? Sex toy, blood. This was just corrupted, and all that stuff. You can find sex toys going back to Egypt, going back to Rome, and all these places. I need a bumper class sex toy. Anyway.
So even the Germans had an issue with the small hats that were
Comments like pushing all that stuff. Yeah.
So you know it's them. I even know the Germans there, Edomites as well. Amalek is the worst of them.
Yeah, Amalek is definitely the conduit to bring that in.
That's what who your elites are, and they're the ones that bring this shit down to you, man. You know,
push it out there like crack in the streets, man. Hey, the sexual revolution, nasty. Yeah.
Yep. So, in Wisdom 12, read from 4 again. Whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, and also those mercy.
Wicked sacrifice counts sacrificing unclean animals even unto the people, sacrificing virgins. You know what I'm saying? So like an Eminem ticket, sacrificing virgins and sacrificing children and all these different things which these elites do. Go on.
Yep. It says, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh.
Cannibalism. Kind of vampirism, the drinking of blood. Yeah, that's a real thing. That's why they love that genre. The vampire genre is a real. People think that's fictional. It's not. It's a representation of what actually happens in real life. The act of vampirism, for the blood is the life. So they believe when they drink the blood, like they're taking in life force. Yeah. So they're really into drinking blood.
It's always represented by elites.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they always represent that the vampires is on account, like living in a castle or something. You got peas. They never broke. They never seen a broke pocket vampire.
Just got like a melody.
Even in Blade, all the vampires had peas, and they had the government connections and all that.
They got the old money.
They got the old money that they're showing you there. But obviously, that don't mean they could fly through the sky and you know what I mean. Like they got facts.
They are leeches.
That's just a way of dressing it up. But the reality is they do the drinking of that. It's not unheard of. It's the Canaanites were doing it, and the Egyptians were doing it.
Yep.
Go on. Now.
Goes on to say, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help.
Now, people do that through the abortion as a way of doing that, but there's actual families of witches or warlocks that get women pregnant for the purpose of ceremonies, man. And then the girl will be pregnant. They won't tell no one they'll be pregnant or whatever, and then they'll sacrifice a child. In fact, the pedophile rings do that. They get the girls that they have in the pedophile ring pregnant, and they hide them away, and they got doctors on the team.
Yeah.
And then the girl will have a child, and the express purpose of the child is to then go and sacrifice that child. That happens.
Yep. Sabrina went into all that, man. You know,
Oh,
yeah, went into all of that, and then not just that as well. One thing that I found interesting about that show, right, is they showed how willing the participants were for these things. Like, you remember the one where it was like to eat her body or whatever, what have you. One of the characters basically was hoping. She was like, "Oh, hope maybe it's me this year. Yeah, maybe it's me this year that I can offer up my body for the coven."
Well, there's families
Yeah,
like that. People don't realize there's higher level witchcraft family, just like in Hollywood. Higher level witch warlock families. That's why you don't want to be born into one of these families. 100% you're going to be molested, because once you're born into them families, you belong to the coven, man. They're not going to use you. And that gets exposed. There was a program they showed on Netflix. You had the two twins. What? That's what it's called.
What are you talking about?
It's called Blackbird.
Two guys, isn't it? And one found out that he was abusing some.
Yeah. You know what? They were twins. And okay, yeah. Go watch that documentary. These were aristocrats from out in the countryside. And then one of them got amnesia because he got in a car accident, and then his brother had to explain to him, yeah, our mother was having sex with us since we was young and pimping us out to her friends. Yeah, but that's a real thing. That's a warlock family. There's families like that, man, that they know they're into the deepness. Just like how in the islands, you got families that's into the obeah, and they pass down the obeah from generation to generation. Or you got the Santa Maria nuns, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing among Esau. They got whole families, whole villages, that everyone's just a witch. You roll in the witch, and they're all part of a secret coven, man.
Oh, what was that one? Sorry, that
A Wicker Man.
Wickham. Okay, now I was thinking, what's the one, the British one? It's called. It's part of the Cornetto trilogy. Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
Hot
what the
Hot Fuzz.
comedy thing?
Yeah. At the end of it, you can basically see that they were all basically witches and warlocks.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah, there's whole towns. Elder Ramar talks about all the time, because he gets them out. You go into a town and it's just bare spooky. But these witches, they ain't gonna tell you, but they know each other, and they're all part of a coven, man. You fuck around, get caught out there, they might sacrifice your ass, man, and the police is in them. Same thing in America too. Well, Hollywood's one big witch coven. No. The Blackbirders, that's the one where the pedophile guy. That's not a documentary. That's based on a true story, but it's not that. There's the one on Netflix where it's actually two twin brothers. I forgot the name. I'll send it to you later. I'll post it. Yeah, and you go through it, and it's him, the one brother, recanting to the other brother what their life was actually like and why he don't like his mother. And then it turns out, yeah, she had sex toys up in the attic and all that shit, man, and pictures of them. Yeah, and she was bringing him to London and giving him to certain men that was in the ring, in the coven, to be used. Yeah, they have their children be used for them purposes, man. And then them children grow up, have children, and it's the same thing.
So these temple halls, basically.
Yeah, they have pedophile rings that they'll give a female pedophile and a male pedophile, and they will get together and have children for the express purpose of molesting those children. Oh, you don't know about that? Hey, but this is Canaan all over again.
And this is where all these rings, these Pizzagate scandals, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Right, there's various scandals that if you go on certain, there's YouTube channels that these things have been exposed before. These things have come out. where the mom's in on it, the grandmother's in on it, everyone's in on it. Like, everyone's in on the madness. Generation of wickedness. So then when you look at the Clintons and you look at all these elite families, that's basically what they are. They're elite families that are deep in the witchcraft, and they're just passing it on from generation to generation.
And that's why we get the Epsteins, the Ghislaine Maxwells, and all these type things, because they're all in it. They're all in it.
They were born into it, the wickedness. Go on. But then you might get a couple man that get brought in. And you go into the music industry, then they bring you in, and then now
And then you buy the baby.
you have to go to the
The
yeah.
baby oil.
Next thing you know, you're gonna blow up. Good. Love it.
It says, Wisdom 12 and 6, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of the Most High's children.
There you go. The Lord ripped them Canaanites out of the land. But can we go back to Leviticus as well? Because it lists all them sexual depravities that the Lord told us not to involve ourselves in.
Yep.
And the minute you get involved in witchcraft and all that wickedness, sex magic involves all of that nastiness. You know what I mean? It involves dealing with your sister, dealing with your mother, your father. Like, for instance, man, we know, you'll know who I'm talking about. One guy we know, he was dealing with his daughters. Spooky, and we're talking about Jake. Spooky ass Jake, man. He would come and collect his daughter, take her out. Imagine, man should have known it was spooky. Imagine a man coming and collecting his daughter at like 10 p.m. and bringing her back at like 3 a.m. What kind of spookiness is that? Like, I know.
What it took you, man, taking his daughter too, though.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Man would come and collect her, and then he would come to the yard, and obviously, natural thing is, you come home, you can sleep with your woman. No, man was sleeping with his daughters. Man was sleeping in the bedroom separately in the bed with his daughters. Then come to find out he was molesting all of them daughters, and they were like, all girls, right? And then when he went to court, he said, yeah, that I got the information from a book that to get power, you got to take your virgin daughters. Yeah. And that was, so you got to be careful, because man get into all this witchcraft stuff, and there's that's part of the thing. Dealing with your daughter, doing all kind of freaky business like that. The Aleister Crowley sex magic thing. That's why Ciara and Justin Timberlake had that song Love and Sexy Magic. They were talking about sex magic. The art of using sexual experiences to create talismans and to manifest power. This is real stuff, man. We're supposed to reject it though, and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
So back in Leviticus 18, verse 4 says, ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk in them. I am Yahweh your power. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, you shall live in them. I am Yahweh. Verse 6, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him.
Yeah, so the family ramming thing. You ain't supposed to be doing all that family ramming, but it happens, and they push it in the corner now. So there's one of they push it. They'll purposely push it, because the people in the porn ain't family, but they'll push the titles and stuff because they want to get the idea in people's minds and push it out there. But that's the witchcraft that they do. They do the family ramming. Like I said, the documentary on Netflix shows you that the mother was dealing with her sons and she was pimping them out. So they were doing the family ramming.
You think what that's going to be doing to someone's mind. Oh, you might be a young child watching, and the next thing you look at your mum one day and you're like, ooh. But that's because them demons have been put on
Satan. Good, man.
That's the thing. It's like these people in the world, they don't understand when demons are jumping on them.
No.
So it's like obviously not on that stuff, but like
they just think it's a feeling.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I've seen because I've been around the foster care, and a lot of the foster care is basically bare pedophilia, bare youths that have been touched by their uncle or their dad. A lot of times it's their dad or their mother, or a combination of both. And then what a lot of times what you see happening
How often is it women?
It's
more than
it's more than what people know. A lot of women are also part of and that's why they get under the radar. In fact, the rings usually use women to get the children, because people, when they think of a pedophile ring, they don't understand that women would be involved.
Yeah.
But of course they are. What the fuck? It's just wickedness, man. Ain't just men, but they want you to think that so that when the woman is talking to the kids, you don't suspect, yeah, she's about to grab them up because you think, oh, women are safe. No, hell no. Yeah, so them women are definitely involved and enablers too. And like I could give you examples where the girl was getting molested by the father, but then he was also molesting the son, and then the son also molested the sister too. And then he grew up and he's molesting people now. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing that happens. Yeah. Bro, it's the reality, man. A lot of that goes on.
That evil was multiplied.
The evil is multiplied, man, and spread because they got demons on them, so they become deviant. Yeah? Go on.
Yep. So it says, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness, Yahweh. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shall thou not uncover.
Yeah, you ain't supposed. I mean, that should go without saying. You ain't supposed to deal with your mother, but they were doing that in Egypt for ritual's sake and for lust, and they were doing that in Canaan, and they're doing that in this society now. A lot of that is going down. Well,
Yeah, so it says, thou shalt not uncover, she is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy
you see
father's
that?
nakedness.
That's one of the stepmother thing. That's one of the famous things. Go on.
Because that once again, it's like that's that easy entry point that Esau is using in someone's mind, because yeah, it will start with like stepmother, but then that line between stepmom and mom then can easily get blurred, man. It's perverse. It's perverse, and that's one of the things Esau's push once again. So we understand certain things, certain thoughts may come into one's mind, and immediately, yo, what? Shoot them demons. But these guys will get overtaken by them demons, man.
I say they can cover all these fucking technicalities and shit, but it's still adultery at the end of the day. You're still covering that adultery, yeah. You know what I mean? But you know, these people trying to find avenues over. It's not it's not my mode.
Exactly.
It don't matter, really. Ultimately, you still committing adultery.
Well, they used to do that even on a soft note, on a soft level. You should do that in these programs. Oh, the stepmom's hot.
Yeah.
They're sowing that seed, you know, in the mind. Go on.
Yeah. It says, the nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. It's like I was laughing because it was like the scripture's like, nah, don't try to use no technicality. It's your sister, right?
The sibling thing can't run.
It don't matter if you didn't grow up in the house with her.
Exactly. That's happening amongst these elites. Yeah. In fact, half of them man were marrying each other. Yeah. Incest, like the Daltons and all these man, and that's why they ended up with a bunch of the queen and them have got retarded cousins, man. Yeah. Should I use that word? The queen and them are known to have a bunch of cousins that's just hidden away from public eye that are just, you know, because they did a lot of inbreeding, man.
Yeah, because I think that's the Habsburg Joe, if I remember correctly. One, you know, see a lot of them old paintings of like European aristocracy have that funny jaw. That was because they were all.
Well, they were doing that in Egypt. Yeah. They were brother and sister together marrying. There was a pharaoh that married his mother. Nasty way.
Yeah. So it says, the nakedness of thy son's daughter or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness.
What's that? Son's daughter? That niece?
It's your grand. It's because it's too much sons.
So the nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy
father's wife's daughter, man, you have to have a separation. And that's called sexual discipline. But you see, this society doesn't teach sexual discipline, but you know, freakiness. Go on, huh?
Yeah, it says, she is thy sister, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister, she is thy father's nakedness.
Your aunt, and there's a lot of that happens too.
Yeah.
Family ramming, aunts preying on nephews, things of that nature. Freaky business. And again, in the world of occultism, that's just part of the ritual. That's just part of the. That's just how it goes down.
So, it says, "Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she's thy mother's naked woman." Huh? And one of the things I always say with like this, we speak about all forms of sexual wickedness, man. People want to just be like, oh, they hate the most. Yeah, we do. But all of this stuff is wicked.
There's so much perversion in this world
You know,
that it needs to be spoken about.
Yeah. adultery.
That we want to get rid of. That's what's going to be in the kingdom. None of this is going to be taking place. So if it does, so we
Sexual revolution,
judge.
free love, and all that shit's going straight out the window. And then the Kinsey, is it Kinsey? Alfred Kinsey. He's a damn pedophile and a demon, man.
Oh, they was looking that up recently, and they're basically, oh no, that's all made up. Would you call it? There's no, and it's like, bro, come on.
And he was a witch too, because he used to come to London to visit certain lodges and stuff down there, because he was a mason, of course. So, he was a warlocks, man.
Yeah,
Go on.
Esau loves hiding that history, man. But we know it's true. Yeah, man. So it says, verse 14, "Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife, she is thine aunt. So thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law, she is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness." You hear those stories with women who will be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go. They'll actively try and go fuck their ex-husband's dad or whatever. It's crazy nonsense. And it's like, yeah, she's wicked, but what the hell is his dad doing?
They're all wicked. They're all wicked. Given unto lust, but wicked sexual deviance, diverse lusts. Now allow it stuff.
Yeah. So
That's why he's gotta be a monk, like, you know what I mean?
So thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife, it is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter.
Yeah, you ain't supposed. That happens a lot. And especially
Right.
if you got this situation now with these mixed families where men are coming in to families that already exist. Just on a normal, not even on a witchcraft level, just lust. Jake could Jake do this. Jake could go in, deal with a woman, and catch feelings for the daughter. Because the daughter is obviously the younger, kitted out version. You know what I mean? So then man can't hold it down, and they try and touch the daughter. Happens all the time.
You can't be greedy. Pick one.
That's why certain men say they don't even want to deal with the woman if she's got daughters, but they don't want to put themselves in that situation. That's why you should live with your own daughters, man. You know, we don't live no one other brother's daughter, man. But that happens a lot, man. Go deal with the woman, and then they catch feelings for the daughter. Well, you're not supposed to do that, man. Yeah, that's wicked.
Yep. So it says, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman.
And the mother will all turn a blind eye to it because she don't want to lose her, man, and then come on, like, beat the girl, because you're jealous of her. Hey, it's true. It's true. It happens like that sometimes. The mother fully fucking knows, but she'll chastise the daughter because she don't want to lose the man. She'll rather, she's in denial. It happens all the time. And I saw one video, she came, exposed her mother at church. Says that you knew the whole time. You knew the man was doing this. Yeah, it happens, bro. Don't think, man. What kind of freakiness is happening up there? You might as well close their curtains. You ever notice that? Edomites as well, you go to these rich areas and Edomites don't even have lace curtains.
Yeah.
What kind of madness is this? I can't be in my yard and not have lace. You know what I mean? I'm not looking into my yard. Freaky ass Edomites. Anyway, go on.
Yep. It says, neither shall thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her naked woman. It is wickedness.
So this is all the thing that were happening in Egypt and in Canaan. Go on.
Yep. Neither shall thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. And thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart from her clean.
That's another thing now. That's part of the witchcraft too. Man wanting to have sex on the period and that. They use the period body witchcraft too.
And
Yeah.
it's like, and they straight up lie because they love being like, oh, but that's when she's the most aroused. It's like, no, it's not true. That's like
The most aroused when they are after the
Ovulate.
week after. Yeah, the week after.
Yeah. When you've been around a chick when she's ovulating, man, you'd be like, oh, who's this person, man? You'd be trying to do your work. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's wickedness. You ain't supposed to do that, man. It's uncleanliness. But the witchcraft, and wickedness and uncleanliness,
It's all about
yeah, it goes hand in hand.
what's what the most odious is, most wicked, that's vile.
Disgusting.
You know,
So it says, verse 20 says, moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech.
Sacrifice. So you see, these are all the things that we was reading about in Wisdom of Solomon. Sacrifice, sexual immorality. These are all the things that the Canaanites was into, even on a ritualistic level, same with the Egyptians. And in this society, people are into it, but then it's also on a ritualistic level.
because you want
Because
to.
some people are doing these things, but they don't, because they're just doing them. But then you got the elites and other people that are doing it ritualistic. Yeah?
Yep.
They're in the rituals, for instance, they call the anus of a boy the key of David. So there is a ritualistic nature to pedophilia when you get to that elite level. But then you might just get a guy that's just a pedophile. And he doesn't understand the ritualistic nature. He just does it because of his lust. But then you get men that are doing it ritualistic. So they know how, how to do the operates.
Says, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am Yahweh.
Right, and I'm sure it's going to go on to mention Batmanism, lesbianism, and all them isms there. Yeah. And again, all those things are also part of witchcraft. Because again, Aleister Crowley, that was one of the levels of sex magic in the OTO. I think it's like the second level of sex magic is homosexuality. And he was into that. He was heavily into that.
Yeah, bare fucking STDs and all that type of shit.
Disgusting, man. And he used to go to Arab land to deal with the boys. But them Arabs love dealing with boys, by the way. You didn't know that.
Yeah, Afghanistanis and that.
Chopper, whatever, man. Yeah, Bati man, think the man that are yeah. That's why fire have to come to them. I don't think these men are morally superior. They're into witchcraft and Bati man thing as well. Over there in Iran and all that. In fact, Iran, they allow the rapists. They allow the transgender thing. So yes, a fire for Iran. That's why America gonna destroy it. That's it. 100%.
All the elites do, man, what they do in the darkness, right? They outsource, they put it out into the world, man, to have you do it on a lower level.
Yeah.
You need to think that's just a normal thing now. That's like
No.
a trend. It's a trend. Everyone's doing this and doing that. But these men do it on a serious level, man.
They're out.
And they're there to corrupt others.
And then you're copying it, but you don't even know what the root of it is. You're just copying it.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of these tattoos people are putting themselves, they don't understand that tattoo goes back to inscription magic. So when you're doing these tattoos, you're inscribing, because there's different forms of magic. You got blood magic, you got inscription magic, and tattoos is kind of like a mixture of both, because you can get inscription magic like where you draw sigils on a building, but when you're then putting the sigil on your body and you're piercing the blood, you're combining a blood ritual with a and that's how the witchcraft works. You can put different forms of witchcraft together to make your, to add power to whatever spell that you're casting, man. So these people don't know. They might go get a damn death horn fucking sigil tattooed on their damn bad body because they saw their favorite celebrity have it, but their favorite celebrity didn't do it off the cuff. They know exactly what they're doing.
They had the that was designing.
Exactly.
It was a part of the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the art, man. Them man might copy a certain form of art, but then you have another artist who the way they're drawing the art is ritualistic. That's why it will go for like 2 million. Because what's her name? Helena Blavatsky, she was heavily involved in the formation of modern art. And a lot of modern art is literally just occultic principles being portrayed in an art form, and then they put blood in there and all kind of stuff. So you think it's just a normal painting. Meanwhile, that painting's probably got 8-10 children on that painting. And all kind of sex ritual and all kind of thing. Man's in a trance with meth and enjoying up the damn thing. You know what I'm saying, man? That's why it cost $1 million, because there's energy with that. Same with these artifacts. A lot of these ancient artifacts, right, are artifacts that's got like the crystal skulls. They got blood on them. They got demons They've sacrificed people, so that's why they want those ornaments in their houses. Because it's like what they call it, cursed objects, man. They show you that when you watch these supernatural. Oh, this object here was from this such and thing, and it got this power. That's not a fake thing. That's a real thing that they do. But people don't get it. Like, they don't understand. This is the reality of the world we live in. Witchcraft, mistress of witchcraft. America's filled with witchcraft, filled with warlocks with talismans around their necks, and they're walking with the talisman. You think it's just a necklace. It's not just a necklace. They might have done all kind of ritual to empower that necklace. Yeah?
Yeah, real quick.
Oh, in the islands, you man in the islands know the Gyard ring. Everybody know about the Gyard ring, right? And get iled on and do their thing. And when man bust the bullet, like CO5 of them and all kind of thing going on. Yeah, it's true. But that's why they walk around with their Gyard ring. Like, no man can touch me. Yeah? Well, these elites and all that, they do the same thing. Oh, on a much higher level. They be pouring out the baby blood.
Real quick, Exodus 22:18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
So that's why judgment is going to come down in this society, man. You know, you got that Marina Abramovich, spirit cooking witch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why we identified with you when Trump got inaugurated, which is a ritual. The whole voting, the whole American voting system is a spell. And you can see it. You see how mad, you see that last election just bugged everybody out. The Democrats and the Republicans are bugged out. They're insane. You go on Twitter, like, this guy can't be right in the head. Because they're not. The whole you casting a vote is all the giant ritual. And at the end of it, they have their little inauguration. And all the witches and warlocks attend. Even though they don't like, man. Imagine that. That man said, Obama was, if Trump gets elected, it's the end of America. Meanwhile, man's are getting inaugurated. Man's there. Like, what's up, homie? Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, congratulations. And they're all sitting there, all in a formal. Yeah, because they have to be there because they're high level witches and warlocks too. And they're there as part of the ceremony. Yeah, and they're giving their energy, and they get your dumb ass to come into the square, and you're there outside giving all your energy to the ritual. The whole thing is designed to gather up your energy. And they were inside under the rotunda, underneath George Washington and all the Roman gods, getting inaugurated. And you look at that and think, oh, it's just a little. No, it's this actual occultic ritual ceremony that's taking place.
Yeah. What one of the elders looked into that word vote, it basically goes into vow. You know, so these people when they vote and they're making a vow, you know, into the system, right?
Well, the scripture speaks about back in Rome, they give their power over to one man. That's what you're doing. You're vowing, you're giving authority to this man to rule you, basically.
Even if you didn't vote for it, because when you put that vote in, the agreement is that whoever wins the vote is the right.
Honor it.
So you all, in essence, you all voted for it. All right. Yeah, they're all demons, man. Trump is a witch, and there's a lot of things in the Oval Office. There's a lot of things on books that I forgot the thing, but they found one of the books he had on the table was a witchcraft book. Right. But they're all demons, man.
And they didn't show on purpose.
Yeah.
They just leave it there.
Just leave it there for you to see. Yeah, because
someone to catch is like, they're playing both sides all the damn fucking time.
And then man will ignore. When you ignore that now, you're demoralized because you're ignoring the fact that these men are warlocks. And even the orange bronzer is because he's meant to represent Osiris. The sun, not Osiris, is it Osiris or Ra, the sun god? So that's why he has the orange look, the orange man with orange face, because there's a deity that has the orange face. It's all symbolism and witchcraft with everything they do. Well, you just think he's just wearing bronze. No, man, there's a purpose behind it. The guy's a demon, man. But anyway, let's keep going on. Where was we?
Okay. So. Back in a bit. Yeah, it's day.
Are you working? You could drop it where you work.
I'm not going to work straight through here.
All right.
So we're going to we'll take you next soon. No?
Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll finish this up because I know this probably you're going to be struggling.
Yeah. So what up? It says Leviticus 18:22 says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination."
The Batiman thing. That's why they push the the body man thing, and they believe, right? There's all kind of nastiness. So if you they believe that if what a god sodomizes another god, you take their powers. If you can sodomize a god, you will become a god. That's why in the stories of all them Greek gods, in the stories of all them Egyptian gods, man was sodomizing each other, because it was in essence to take their power. Yeah, and that's part of witchcraft too. You sodomize guys to take power. That's what P Diddy was doing, sodomizing guys to take their power. You know what I'm saying? There's a witchcraft aspect to the occult aspect to these things that the layman might not know, but the witches know. So they practice it.
There's a humiliation ritual.
Yeah, it's pure humiliation.
That's what it is.
Right? It's disgusting, man. All right. And then they push the rebus. I've already broken down before that transgenderism goes back into the rebus, which is the what's they call it again? The grand, the great work or something like that.
Mission.
I think it's called the great work, which is actually the fusion of the male and female essence, and it's called the rebus, and that's what the transgenderism represents. In fact, Baphomet, the image of Baphomet, which is a composite of the great work.
Yeah.
The image of Baphomet that people see is actually the image of Baphomet is actually a lot of occultic symbolism put into one image. So that's why it's got the light of Lucifer on it. It's got the caduceus. It's got the as above and so below, and it's got the female and the male parts, but also the beast part. Yeah. So the Baphomet represents the rebus, and then you see them pushing the rebus out there in the medical industry. What's the symbol in the medical industry? The caduceus. So it's them guys that are doing it are really witches and warlocks, but they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to come out and say, "Oh, the reason we're investing all this money in the research and how to do this is because we're doing the magnum opus." They're going to tell you, "Oh, it's some bullshit story." And then when you go back and you watch, like, for instance, them first kids that they put on the TV, like, what's the name? What's that dude's name again? Jay? It was one famous one, and they had a whole program about him or her. I don't even know what to say. And if you watch that program, even in that, like, the psychologist that was working with another group of demons, witches and Freemasons, the psychologist, there was a point in the program where she was getting to the point where she was going to go on these blockers, the pharmakia, to turn him or whatever into a girl when it's really a boy. And then there was a point where he got depressed. And then when he went to the psychologist, the psychologist said it. She actually told the truth. She said, "Listen, the reason you're depressed is because when you were like 5 and 6, it was easy for you as a boy to say you're a girl because your brain doesn't even know what that means." You know what I'm saying? When you're a child, these concepts are not realized in your brain. So of course, a child could believe they're Spider-Man and they got wings, and what they're saying doesn't even mean anything to them. They don't understand. It's a concept. Like, you could tell a 3-year-old, "That's my dad." What does a child know about what a dad is? They just know that I say dad, and this person I have a connection with. They don't understand that you proceed in the, you know what I mean? Like how you understand what a father is. When you grow up, you understand what your father is and what they represent, because your brain is developed enough to understand these concepts. When you're a child, you just repeat. So when you're putting them through this pain to transition from a boy to a girl, when they do that at a teenage age, their brain is developed enough to actually understand that, hold on, the very fact I have to do this means I'm not a fucking girl. And then there's a conflict, and that conflict causes what? Depression. And the psychiatrist said it. I'm like, well, why the fuck are you doing it then? Because guess what? Him and his family, they're witches, man. And this is what people don't realize, that a lot of these people are in a particular position. You see them on TV. It's not an accident. His parents are witches, and he was selected, like the brother said earlier, for this particular position to be put on TV as the poster boy of transgenderism. I think the name of him was Jane, something like that. But proper in terms of one of the first kids to transition and be famous, that was one of the first ones. Yeah, that's a witch. That's a setup to push that out there into the world. Yeah, and they're all witches and warlocks, 100%, guaranteed. All right, we know what's going on out here. All right, we'll close up on that. We're exposing these devils. But yeah, the rebus is heavy. You know what I'm saying out here, man. That's a big part of witchcraft, was creating these beings, and they use them in the rituals. They get used just like the trannies were getting used in the rituals. That's why you find out that a lot of these celebrities are dealing with transsexuals. You know, chicks with dicks and all this shit. Yeah? Because it's part of the odious works of witchcraft. Fucking chick with dick. You know, the Edomites love that too. They go to Thailand.
Well, they're still trying to push it on you, even though they had these men going through a full transition and trying to convince you that they're women. You know, but you got guys that are participating with them, thinking that they're dealing with women. You're still participating in that witchcraft.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just being deceived by it.
And you know what mantra they're trying to push out now, or they've been trying to push out, is the same way back when it was just the G thing, right? They would say, oh, as long as it's over there, it's not affecting me. It is what it is. But now what they're trying to push out is this. Well, if I can't tell the difference, then what does it really matter?
There is a difference.
There is a big difference.
Spiritually, there's a difference still. You know,
You know.
you can try and have kids. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. There's obviously a difference.
Yeah.
You know, you're just being ignorant because you just want to fulfill your lust.
That's the one, Jazz Jennings. This one. She was one of he was one of the most famous ones. And clearly, and that's why she stayed famous and in the limelight, because it's all set up. They're all Masons. You check it, the mom, the Eastern Star or some shit. You know what I mean? And they get them in and get them to do all this shit to the eyes of the public. Man. So nasty one. But that's America. The Statue of Liberty is a representation of Baphomet. It's a man in a dress. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy. Anyway, anything else on that?
Yep. So let's see. It says Leviticus 18:23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast and lie down thereto. It is confusion.
So they pushed that out there.
Oh, bestiality. So then you said it. That's what we said earlier with Aleister Crowley had his woman lay with the goat. That's mad. You know, mad thing. You know, yeah. Right. That's why we gotta get the hell out of here, man. This place is foul. It's disgusting. That's why the Lord's gonna America. All these things exist in America in its abundance. Bestiality, pedophilia, child sacrifice. Everything we speak about exists in its abundance on the lower level, even up to the very top, up to the elites, man. And it's like the brother said, they pushing that out there in the world because the porn is made there. Porn with everything we're talking about is made in America, in Hollywood, and they push it out to the rest of the world, man. Disgusting.
They glamorize it.
Glamorize it, man. That's why the Most High gonna drop thermonuclear weapons on that place, man, because it represents all that nasty, unclean works, man, and it has to be cleansed off the earth, right? So, that it? All right. So with that, we gotta get out of here, man. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone.